जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे। जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees present here. In the last 5 sessions, we have seen Gopakumar's journey from the Govardhan area in this Bhumandala all the way to Goloka Vrindavan in the spiritual world. That's a glorious journey. In this journey, Gopakumar met so many devotees, so many saintly personalities. He learned so many spiritual secrets, and he gradually advanced in his own journey of evolution in Krishna consciousness, and finally attained his most cherished goal of attaining Krishna's position, Krishna's association in Goloka Vrindavan. That was a glorious journey. Now, after entering Goloka Vrindavan, Gopakumar had such sweet experiences of witnessing the loving exchanges between Krishna and Vrajavasis, Krishna and Mother Yashoda, Krishna and Balaram, all the Gopas, Gopis, Vrajavasis in general. So Gopakumar's heart is completely filled with deep satisfaction witnessing them and also being a part of them. We have seen how Krishna introduced Gopakumar as Sarupa, Sridhama's family member, to Yashoda Mata, and Yashoda Mata cared for Gopakumar, Sarupa, like her own son, exhibited her motherly affection towards this boy, and Krishna is kind enough to accept him as his dear friend, and there were very, very beautiful, memorable, loving exchanges. Then one day, as Gopakumar or Sarupa is staying in Goloka along with Krishna and other Vrajavasis, Krishna hears that Kaliya entered this Kaliya lake and creating trouble there. Now, Krishna ran towards the Kaliya lake, jumped into the Kaliya lake, subdued Kaliya after a brief confrontation and fight, started dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, and during this episode where Krishna was arrested by the coils of Kaliya, Balaramji requested Krishna. Balaram said, "Oh Krishna, please don't torment all your dear Vrajavasis. It's not appropriate on your part. Because these people, the Vrajavasis, the Gopas and Gopis, are not like your associates in Vaikuntha. They are not like Vishnudutas in Vaikuntha. They are not even like Vanaras in Ayodhya. Definitely they are not like your reverential associates in various other planets where you perform your pastimes in different forms. Because many of these personalities, whether they are residents of Dwaraka or residents of Vaikuntha, residents of Ayodhya or many other pastime places of Krishna, they have an understanding of Krishna's divinity, understanding of Krishna's power as the supreme personality of Godhead. So, even if Krishna is attacked by some demon, they don't feel anxious about Krishna's safety. They don't feel bad. They don't feel anxious that, oh, Krishna is in danger now. They think that the demon who is fighting Krishna is in danger. A demon attacked Krishna, then who is in danger? Not Krishna, demon. But Vrajavasis are opposite. They feel that Krishna is in danger, not the demon. So if they continue to see Krishna in that dangerous condition of being coiled by Kaliya or attacked by some other demon, they will be devastated. So Balramji is requesting Krishna, Krishna, please don't allow yourself to be bound by Kaliya for such a long time. Please release yourself. Please give some reassurance and hope to all these Vrajavasis. Otherwise they will die in separation from you. They will die in deep anxiety for your safety. Please show some mercy upon them. Then Krishna just released himself from this Kaliya's coils and then jumped on the hoods of Kaliya and started dancing on the hoods of Kaliya and saved all the Vrajavasis. And Kaliya offered sincere prayers to Krishna, and all the Nagapatnis, Kaliya's wives also offered so many beautiful prayers to Krishna. Krishna accepted all the prayers, accepted the worship, and Krishna made, actually Kaliya himself offered, Krishna, I will be your carrier. Wherever you want to go, you call me. I will come. I will carry you on my back. And Krishna was riding on Kaliya. So in this way, Krishna subdued Kaliya. And one day, after this, two demons came to attack Vrindavan. A bull demon and a horse demon. Keshi and Arishtasur. They came to attack Krishna. And Krishna was very careful enough to deal with these two demons. First he caught Keshi demon. Although bull is powerful, horse is faster. Keshi is fast. Horse demon, right? So Krishna started fighting with Keshi demon. He was like fighting, and Krishna did not kill Keshi demon. In the material world, what did Krishna do? He kept his butter soft hand within the mouth of Keshi demon and all his teeth fell and Keshi died. But in the spiritual world, Krishna wouldn't kill Keshi demon. Krishna subdues Keshi demon. And Krishna starts riding on Keshi horse. And all the Gopa friends of Krishna, they say, Krishna, we also want to ride. We want to do some horse riding. We were only taking care of cows till now, but we never did horse riding. Please allow us to do it. Krishna says, yes, please ride on this horse. Because Keshi is a subdued demon. So Keshi has to carry all the Gopas on his back and then go wherever they wanted him to. So that's how Krishna transforms Keshi into a horse for riding, for the pleasure of all the Gopas. Then Arishtasur came to confront with Krishna, attack Krishna. And Krishna just subdued Arishtasur and engaged Arishtasur in agricultural activities. In farming, some crops, fields in Vrindavan. So that's how Krishna dealt with these two demons. But one day, as Vrindavan is very peaceful, with all kinds of loving exchanges between Krishna and the Gopas and Gopis, one day Akrura came to Vrindavan. He came from Mathura. He is a minister of Kamsa. Kamsa was a very cruel king. So this cruel king Kamsa had sent Akrura as a messenger to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So Akrura came as a representative of Kamsa. Akrura came on his chariot and met Nanda Maharaj and explained Kamsa's orders. Kamsa wanted Krishna and Balaram to come to Mathura. And Nanda Maharaj, as the king of Vrindavan, as the king of this Goloka area, it's your responsibility to follow the order of Kamsa and send your sons, and you also should come. But Nanda Maharaj was very apprehensive. He's very concerned. I can come, but why should Krishna come? Why should Balaram come? What's the reason behind this specific request of inviting Krishna and Balaram? That too, why Kamsa personally is taking interest in my sons? Too much. Then Akrura started explaining the reasons. And he also explained that Vasudev and Devaki Mata, they are suffering. Not only these two personalities, even all the Yadus are suffering under the subjugation of Kamsa. Kamsa is very cruel, very violent. We need to protect all the innocent Yadus from the captivity of Kamsa. For that, Krishna has to come and teach him a lesson. Please allow his son to come. Nanda Maharaj, being a responsible king, he had to listen carefully, patiently, empathetically to Akrura, but Yashodamata was not at all in a mood to send Krishna. So Yashodamata was devastated. She was crying in separation from Krishna, imminent separation from Krishna. Oh, tomorrow morning I have to send Krishna? Then Akrura sits and then patiently makes them understand. And Nanda Maharaj also takes the side of Akrura for a while, because as a host he is supposed to honor the mood of the guest and need of the guest and the purpose of his visit. So Akrura's points are also conveyed by Nanda Maharaj to Yashodamata, and Yashodamata finally says, okay, fine. If that is inevitable, I have to agree. Yashodamata, as described by Sukadeva Goswami in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Trayyachopanishadbhischa Sankhya-yogaischa satvataihi Upagiyamana-mahatmyam harim samanyatatmajam. Trayyacha Upanishadbhischa, in all the three Vedas, in all the Upanishads, Sankhya-yogaischa satvataihi, in all the Satvata scriptures and scriptures describing Sankhya Yoga, Upagiyamana-mahatmyam, the Mahatmya, the greatness of Krishna is so elaborately praised, glorified. Although Krishna is glorified in this way, what is Mother Yashoda's perspective of Krishna? Harim samanyata atmajam, harim sa amanyata atmajam. She just considers that Krishna is my son. This Lord Hari is nothing but my son. She is absorbed in that mood. Eternally, even in the eternal spiritual world. So she wouldn't send her son at any cost. Definitely not to Kamsa's kingdom, Mathura. Definitely not with a minister of Kamsa. But Akrura is very desperate. See, I have come here as a representative of Kamsa, and because Kamsa is such a cruel king, he may even harm this village of Gokul. The cowherds may be affected because of Kamsa's cruelty. Nanda Maharaj, please think. Yashodamata, please think. And Nanda Maharaj somehow tries to convince Yashodamata. She did not have many arguments to give except emotions and tears in her eyes. Then finally, Krishna agrees to go. Balaram agrees to go, especially after hearing the pain of Vasudeva and Devaki, whom Akrura described as Krishna's parents. Krishna agreed to go. Because Krishna agreed to go, Nanda Maharaj has to agree. That night, there was a big meeting. In this big meeting in Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj called all the chief men, cowhead men, for that meeting, and he announced, according to Kamsa's order, we need to take Krishna. Krishna has to go to Mathura tomorrow. Balaram also has to go. I am accompanying them also. Akrura is there taking us. Then cowhead men also were apprehensive, but they had to agree. The whole night passed. Next day morning, all preparations were happening to take Krishna to Mathura. And throughout the night, the Vrajavasis, especially the younger gopis, could not even sleep, thinking that, oh, tomorrow morning Krishna will leave us, Govinda will leave us, after giving us so much of happiness in his association. Will he leave us in pain of his separation? They were anxious. Next day morning, Yashoda Mata is making preparations for Krishna's departure. All the other gopis were thinking, oh, Yashoda Mata also agreed to send Krishna. Nanda Maharaj is personally taking Krishna, sending with Akrura. What's happening to Yashoda Mata? What's happening to Nanda Maharaj? What happened to all the elderly members of Vrindavan community? They are not understanding that they are sending a little calf towards a cruel tiger or a lion. How can you give a calf in the care of a lion? You go to lion, please take care of this calf. Please take care of the deer. Will anyone do that? And this Akrura is not Akrura, he is Krura. He is so cruel. He has come here to separate us from Krishna. He has come to separate Krishna from Vrindavan, his most beloved abode. His dearest devotees are there in Vrindavan, but Akrura is taking Krishna away from Vrindavan. So next day morning, Yashoda Mata, with tears in her eyes, but also trying to hide those tears because she should not cause any inauspiciousness in the journey of Krishna. She was very possessive of Krishna. She's making preparations, but at one point she took her sari and covered Krishna, tried to hide Krishna within her sari, not allowing him to be seen by anyone, including Nanda Maharaj and Akrura. Nanda Maharaj came, Yashoda, what are you doing? Please send Krishna. Yesterday we discussed, today morning also we discussed. I thought you are convinced. Yeah, my intelligence is convinced, but my emotions are not convinced. What is intellectually appealing could be emotionally very burdensome and very austere, very difficult to accept. Ultimately, we should develop an emotional bonding with Krishna and not just an intellectual conviction that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Mayyeva mana adhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya. In the 12th canto, 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhakti Yoga section, Krishna says, Mayyeva mana adhatsva, connect with me through your mind. Means, you invest your thinking, feeling, willing, emotions and attachment of your mind in me. Develop an emotional bonding with me. If you can't do that, next level. Mayi buddhim niveshaya. Engage your intelligence in me. That means you try to understand my tattva. So, Krishna places Mayyeva mana adhatsva superior to Mayi buddhim niveshaya, according to the commentaries of Acharyas like Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Mayyeva mana adhatsva is Smaranatmika Bhakti. Mayi buddhim niveshaya is Mananatmika Bhakti. So when you connect with Krishna with a deep emotional bonding, that's considered the highest connection with Krishna. When you only stop at developing an intellectual conviction that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's not the ultimate. However, for sadhakas, for study Shastra, study Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, with the explanations of our Acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada, and develop that strong philosophical foundation. On top of it, other emotions will be revealed and they will be developed. But when you do an unbiased comparison between these two lines of the shloka, Mayyeva manadhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya, Mayyeva manadhatsva stands superior to mayi buddhim niveshaya. Developing an emotional attachment to Krishna is superior to simply understanding Krishna's position as God or Supreme Godhead. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. And the Vrajavasis, they are on the level of this highest bhava, pure, deepest bhava for Krishna, where they have deep emotional bonding with Krishna. And Yashoda Mata is not ready to leave Krishna. And because there is an insistence there, there is a compulsion there, there is no other option there, Yashoda Mata said, okay, I'll send Krishna. You know what she did? She took Krishna's little hand and placed it in Akrura's hand. And did not speak to Akrura. Looked at Nanda Maharaj and started speaking to Nanda Maharaj. Because Akrura came to take Krishna, Yashoda Mata has to give Krishna in the hands of Akrura, but she's not speaking to Akrura. I don't have so much faith on this guy. I need to talk to my husband. So Yashoda Mata placed Krishna's hand in Akrura's hand, and then Yashoda Mata started speaking to Nanda Maharaj. She spoke to Nanda Maharaj saying that, Nanda Maharaj, I am placing my most sacred, invaluable treasure in your hands. Now it is your responsibility to hand over my treasure safely back to me in a couple of days as you have promised. Your promise is that you should give this, you will bring Krishna back very soon. You are not sending Krishna with Akrura, although he has come here to take him. You are accompanying Akrura along with Krishna, and you are taking Krishna and you are bringing Krishna back. Understood? Please get my son back safely. When Yashoda Mata placed Krishna's hand in Akrura's hand and spoke like this to Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj said, Yashoda, don't worry, I am there with Krishna all the while. I'll bring him back very safely. Don't worry. I accept your request. Then Akrura took Krishna and allowed Krishna to sit on the chariot. Meanwhile, all the gopis came running towards Yashoda Mata. Asked her, Yashoda, do you understand what you are doing? You are placing a calf in the care of a lion or a tiger. It's not proper. Then Yashoda Mata tried to convince these gopis the way Nanda Maharaj convinced her. But she lacked conviction. Although Arjuna went on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to fight with his relatives, he even picked up his bow and arrows and about to shoot arrows. He thought, oh, let me see who was there on the battlefield. He came for confrontation without any conviction. Similarly, Yashoda Mata also was ready to send Krishna away with Akrura just for a few days, but she is not fully convinced. When the gopis came and started speaking to her, why did you do this? Why are you sending Krishna there? She tried to convince them, but seeing their anguish, seeing their love, seeing their affection, Yashoda Mata said, oh yeah, correct, why am I sending? See how much love and affection that these gopis have towards Krishna. Let's go to Bhagavatam for a minute. During Trinavarta Leela, Yashoda Mata was keeping little Krishna in her lap. Suddenly Krishna became so heavy as a mountain peak. And Yashoda Mata could not hold Krishna in her lap. She placed Krishna back on the floor in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. She ran into the home just to send some people to call some brahmanas to chant some mantras for Krishna's protection. So, meanwhile, this whirlwind came. Trinavarta came. And when Trinavarta came, Krishna, who was as heavy as a mountain peak till now, he became as light as a flower, as a feather, as a leaf, dry leaf. And Trinavarta easily picked up Krishna, and Trinavarta Airlines, it flew so high into the sky, 800,000 miles into the sky. Then Krishna started feeling separation from Mother Yashoda. As it is natural for babies, when you lift them up, they sometimes become afraid. Sometimes they are very happy, they smile, but sometimes they become very afraid. They hold on to you with their tight grip like this, right? That's how Krishna, this 1-year-old baby Krishna, held on to the neck of Trinavarta so tightly like this that Trinavarta could not even breathe. His throat was choked. His eyes were popping out of their sockets. Trinavarta, when he is feeling that pain, he is unable to scream also. When you are feeling pain, when you scream, there is some solace. He is unable to scream also. His throat is completely choked. And when you are holding heavy weight, if you are unable to bear the weight, you should drop it. And Trinavarta is unable to drop the weight of Krishna also, because Krishna was holding on to the neck of Trinavarta and he became as heavy as a mountain peak. Till now he was light like a feather. Suddenly he increased his weight. And Trinavarta is unable to relinquish Krishna, throw Krishna away. Krishna is embracing him tightly. And Trinavarta, when Krishna was hanging from the neck of Trinavarta, he looked like a blue locket. Necklace hanging from Trinavarta. Neelamani. Gopi lochana chatakam budamani saundarya mudrabadi. He's like a ambudamani, like cloud, jewel like cloud, bluish, Neelamani. So he was hanging like that. Then Trinavarta is unable to do anything, he collapsed. Where did he collapse? When a flight takes off from so-and-so terminal, so-and-so gate from an airport, what is the possibility that when it crashes at the same gate, at the same terminal, in the same city? Impossible. But Trinavarta Airlines crashed right in Vrindavan. Took off from Vrindavan, crashed in Vrindavan. That too where? Right next to all the lamenting Vatsalya gopis. Right next to them, there is a big boulder. There is a huge boulder. And Trinavarta crashed there. All his bodily limbs got dislocated. And only his chest was intact. And this baby Krishna was happily playing on the chest of Trinavarta. And Yashoda Mata was shocked. Rohini Mata was shocked, and all the Vatsalya gopis surrounding Yashoda and Rohini, they looked at this dead body falling from, whether it's dead body or living body, they don't know. Some huge form fell from the sky and fell on a big boulder and is lying there, and Krishna is there on the chest of this demon. Now, although their beloved object Krishna is there, they have to hesitate even for a moment, right? Hey, Krishna is there on the body of a demon. We cannot approach the body of a demon. At least they should have hesitation. With absolutely no hesitation, with absolutely no fear, all these tender, simple-hearted ladies, the gopis, ran towards Trinavarta's dead body, picked up Krishna and brought him to Yashoda Mata. No fear. But the main thing happens here. They were holding little baby Krishna in their hands, 1-year-old baby Krishna in their hands. They told, Yashoda, you have no right to touch the boy. I have no right. I am the mother of Krishna. I am Rajeshwari, Queen of Vrindavan. I have no right. They said, yes, you have no right to touch. Why? When such whirlwind came, when the entire Gokul area is filled with Rajas and Tamas. Rajas means dust, Tamas means darkness. Rajasa Tamasavritam. When the entire area of Gokul is filled with dust and darkness and storm and whirlwind, why did you leave this small child, 1-year-old baby in the courtyard unattended? Yashoda Mata was confused. Did I leave him unattended? Then she said, yeah, I left him alone there because my child Krishna became as heavy as a mountain peak. I could not bear his burden. I could not handle his weight. Therefore I went inside to call some Brahmanas. Meanwhile this happened. Then the gopis said, Yashoda, don't lie. Your son is as light as a flower, not even a garland, as light as a flower. We are holding him. How can you say that he is as heavy as a mountain peak? Mother Yashoda has no answer. She is very innocent, very simple-hearted. So the main point here is, all the Vatsalya gopis, motherly gopis of Vrindavan, had so much Vatsalya affection for Krishna, and their Vatsalya affection for Krishna is as good as Yashoda Mata's Vatsalya affection for Krishna. Now when Yashoda Mata is personally sending Krishna away from Vrindavan with Akrura, none of these Vatsalya gopis were able to tolerate that pain of separation, imminent separation from Krishna. Since in the Bhuloka Vrindavan, since Krishna was an infant child, all these Vatsalya gopis, they don't spend so much time in their homes. They spend all the time in the Nanda Bhavan, next to Mother Yashoda, especially when Krishna is in Kaumara age. Yarhyangana darshaniya Kumara Leela. All the Kumara Leelas of Krishna are Angana darshaniya. They are more accessible to and relishable by the Vatsalya gopis. That's why, just to fulfill their desires, Krishna expanded himself into hundreds and thousands of gopas and personally became their sons. He took their sons' forms and relished their Vatsalya Prema for 1 full year. So Brahma glorifies this. Ahoti dhanya vrajagoramanya stanyamritam pitamativate muda. Aho ati dhanya vrajagoramanya. All the Vatsalya gopis of Krishna are extremely fortunate. Because stanyamritam pitam ativate muda. With great happiness Krishna is drinking their stanyamritam, drinking their milk, reciprocating with their love and affection. Now these Vatsalya gopis, these motherly gopis of Krishna just could not tolerate Krishna's departure from Vrindavan. They blamed Akrura. After discussing with Mother Yashoda, after not getting convinced by Mother Yashoda's arguments, they ran towards Akrura. Then Madhurya gopis came, the younger ones. Although Krishna entered the chariot of Akrura, these little gopis, younger gopis, whole night they were discussing. Maybe some elder would intervene into the situation. They will stop Krishna from going to Mathura. These elders are not realizing that they are sending their lives away from their bodies voluntarily. They are not even realizing it. Maybe by the time sun rises, they may realize. We will wait for their realization. But no more realization. All preparations to send Krishna away from Vrindavan are happening in full swing. Now all these gopis who were hiding their loving feelings for Krishna within their hearts, they could not hold them anymore in their hearts. They are exposing that love. They came, they caught the wheels of Akrura's chariot. Some gopis caught the horses of Akrura's chariot. Some people, they pulled the driver of Akrura and then threw him on the ground and started beating him. And some gopis went to Balaram and piteously begged him, Balaram, please intervene in the situation. Stop Krishna. You also stop. Don't go. And some gopis, they caught Krishna. They dragged Krishna. They brought Krishna down from the chariot. They took Krishna into bushes, into the grooves of Vrindavan. And Krishna was equally emotional. He was able to empathize with the emotions of all these Vraja gopis. And all these gopis, with great respect, they fell at the feet of Krishna. They folded their hands with their eyes filled with tears. They said, Krishna, please don't go to Mathura. Please don't leave Vrindavan. So like that, this discussion is going on. They're trying to convince Krishna to stay back. And Krishna's mind is also getting transformed. Oh, yesterday Akrura convinced me. Now gopis are trying to convince me. Who can convince Krishna better? Gopis or Akrura? Of course, gopis. So Krishna was changing his mind. He wants to stay back. But gopis are piteously appealing to Krishna. Krishna, without you, we cannot survive. Even when you go to the forest early in the morning, you see our faces filled with tears, and we stand there seeing you off like figures in a painting till the last speck of dust raised by the hoofs of the cows settles down. We are there standing next to Mother Yashoda, looking at you. Until you return from the forest back to Vrindavan, back to the village, whole day we are thinking about you only. Whole day we meditate on you. We may engage in all our household activities, but our mind is totally absorbed in you. And our hearts are totally immersed in your love, in love for you. And our voices are completely engaged in glorifying you. Yadohane vahanane mathanopalepa prinkankanar bharudito ksanamarjanadav gayanti chaina manurakta dhiyo shrukantyo dhanyavrajastriya urukrama chittayanaha. Yadohane, while milking cows, vahanane, while threshing grains, mathana, while churning buttermilk for Krishna, upalepa, while smearing their homes and floors with cow dung, Priyankankana, while swinging on swings, Arbharudita, while taking care of their crying babies, Ukshana, while sprinkling their courtyard with water mixed with cow dung, Marjanado, while cleaning the floors of Vrindavan, while doing these simple household activities that are very natural for the gopis. What are the gopis doing? Gayanti chaina manurakta dhiyo shrukantyo Dhanyavrajastriya urukrama chittayanaha. Gayanti chainam anurakta dhiyo. With their minds completely absorbed in love for Krishna, with their voices faltering, they are glorifying Krishna's pastimes. They are singing the glories of Krishna. Dhanyavrajastriya urukrama chittayana. Who else could be greater than gopis in their love for Krishna? These gopis are saying, Krishna, when you go to the forest, whole day we are anxious about your lotus feet. Because in the forest there are sharp stones, rough grasses, sharp pebbles, and your feet are so tender, so soft. Even when your feet touch our tender bodies, they become reddish. They are like butter. They are like pravala, newly grown leaves. Atati yad bhavana nikananam Truti yugayate tvama pashyatam Kutila kuntalam shri mukham jate Jada udikshatam pakshma krudrisham. When you go to the forest, we are unable to see you. And when you come back also, we are unable to relish your darshan because Brahma has created these eyelids on our eyes, which are constantly blinking. Within one eye blink, Truti yugayate tvama pashyatam. In one truti, in one fraction of a second, we are experiencing millions of yugas of separation from you, Krishna. So if we can't tolerate one moment of separation from you, within an eye blink, how do you think that we can tolerate separation from you for such a long time when you go to Mathura? We are insecure now. In Vrindavan there is no insecurity, but they are insecure. When you go to Mathura, we are not sure whether you will come back or not. Maybe the Mathuravasis will hold you back. Yadus will hold you back. When will you come back? Will you come back at all? Shila Tridankurai Sidati Tinaha Kalilata Manaha Kanta Gachati. Shila, Trina, Ankura. All these little pebbles and stones and rough grasses may pierce your feet. Just the thought, that just simple thought that your feet are being pierced by all these rough grasses in Vrindavan forests. Sidatitinaha, we become perturbed. Kalilata manaha kanta gachati. Kalilata manaha, our hearts are getting churned in anxiety. Now we are leaving us, going to Vrindavan, going to Mathura, leaving Vrindavan, please stay back. They are piteously begging Krishna. Meanwhile, Akrura is becoming anxious. He is extremely anxious. He was thinking, how long this meeting will happen? The gopis took Krishna to the bushes. They are having some confidential meeting. Balaram, you are very familiar with the area of Vrindavan. Can you please take me there? Balaram said, yes, of course. So Balaram got down from the chariot. Akrura got down from the chariot. Balaram went closer to the bushes. He saw Krishna having a conversation with the younger gopis. Balaram did not go there. This is etiquette. Although Balaram is the dearest associate of Krishna, when Krishna is with his gopis, Balaram wouldn't go there. And when Krishna is with Balaram, the gopis wouldn't come there. Right? So that is the etiquette. So Balaram just went near the bushes and stood there, did not move forward. But Akrura, being an elderly man, he took the liberty to go forward. He took a blade of grass and put that straw between his teeth and fell at the feet of the gopis, and he was begging, oh gopis, please give me this charity, please give me this dakshina, donation. This elderly man is begging you. You are all very young, but still I am begging you, falling at your feet with a straw in my teeth, between my teeth. Please send Krishna to Mathura. Why should we send Krishna to Mathura? He is Vrajesha Tanaya. Then Akrura says, same reasons that he spoke the last night. He says, Krishna's parents Vasudeva and Devaki are being tormented by Kamsa. And all the Yadus are being tormented by Kamsa. If Krishna doesn't come and destroy Kamsa and release his parents Vasudeva and Devaki from Kamsa's captivity, they will suffer, they will continue to suffer. They have been suffering for last so many years. Now is the time for them to just have some solace. For parents like Vasudeva and Devaki who have such a glorious son like Krishna, they are not meant to suffer like this. So, please send. You know what the gopis said? Akrura, you are a liar. You are a cheater. What you are speaking is totally false, untruth. Why are you saying that Vasudeva and Devaki are Krishna's parents? This Krishna is Nandanandan, Yashodanandan. He is born here. Jayati tedhikam janmana vraja. His janma happened here. He was born from Mother Yashoda. He is the son of Mother Yashoda. How can you say that Vasudeva and Devaki are his parents? This is a lie. We cannot accept this truth. Eternally, Vasudeva thinks that Krishna is his son. And he only kept his son in Nanda Maharaj's home, temporarily. And eternally, Nanda Maharaj thinks that Krishna is his son. He is just allowing his son Krishna to stay with Vasudeva because he has some affection for him. So Nanda Maharaj doesn't understand that Krishna is Vasudeva's son. Vasudeva doesn't understand that Krishna is Nanda Maharaj's son. Both fathers are like this. Nanda Maharaj is in Kevala Vatsalya. Nanda and Yashoda are in Kevala Vatsalya. Vasudeva and Devaki are in Aishwarya Gnana Yukta Vatsalya. Nanda and Yashoda only have pure love for Krishna, pure parental love for Krishna. But Vasudeva and Devaki, along with parental love, they also have reverence for Krishna. They have some reverential attachment to Krishna. They think that Krishna is God also. When Gopi said like this, Akrura fell at their feet and said, no, whatever you may consider, if Krishna doesn't come and destroy Kamsa and release Yadus and Vasudeva and Devaki and all, they will die. They will die if Krishna doesn't come there. At least show some mercy on Yadu dynasty. Then the gopis said that, you want us to show some mercy on Yadu dynasty? If Krishna doesn't come, they will die. But this is a more emergency situation. If Krishna leaves us, we will die on the spot. They may die later in future. Okay, before their death, so many things can be worked out, right, to deal with the situation. But if Krishna leaves Vrindavan, it's like our lives leaving our bodies. Our death will happen on the spot. So we cannot send Krishna. So like that, lot of negotiations are happening between the gopis and Akrura. Akrura is humbling them himself in front of the gopis, and gopis are being little strong, not leaving Krishna. Krishna is seeing both the arguments, he is silent. Sarupa is narrating all this to Pragjatishpur Brahmana. Then Krishna looked at Balram. Balram was silent. By his silence, Balram approved Akrura's arguments. Then Krishna understood that Balram is siding Akrura. Therefore Krishna said, let me go with Akrura and Balaram. Gopis, I will definitely come back soon. Please, let me do this service for Vasudeva, Devaki and all the Yadus. Let me go with Akrura. So with great difficulty, Krishna left the gopis behind and he came to Akrura's chariot. Balaram and Krishna boarded Akrura's chariot. Akrura sat on the chariot and all the gopis are crying like kurari birds. Then Akrura noticed, maybe Krishna may change his mind again. Maybe the gopis will come and follow up with me again. So with absolutely no delay, Akrura, being an expert driver of chariot, he moved his whip and then the horses started moving very swiftly towards Mathura. And the gopis are standing there. Some are fainting. They were like figures in a painting with tears in their eyes, totally stunned. And some of them did not have sufficient tears in their eyes also to fall from their eyes. They're just standing there with open eyes. So Krishna left. Krishna went to Mathura. After going to Mathura, now in Brihad Bhagavatamrita it is summarized very, very quickly. Not many details are given. Krishna destroyed Kamsa and all his men. Now next scene is described a little more elaborately. After Krishna destroyed Kamsa, then it's a time for Krishna to go back to Vrindavan. Nanda Maharaj is waiting. Krishna, you need to come. Come, let's go. But Vasudeva says, no, I want to stay here. I want Krishna to stay here. Because Vasudeva thinks that Krishna is his son. Nanda Maharaj thinks that Krishna is my son. Right? But both fathers have equal affection. Not equal, but almost equal affection for Krishna in different flavors. And Krishna is in a dilemma. Should I stay back or go back? I promised the gopis. I promised Mother Yashoda. But still, Vasudeva's arguments are a bit strong. I have been in great pain because of Akrura, because of Kamsa for a long time. Now finally I got to see Balram, my son, and Krishna. So I need to be with them for a while. At least allow him. Now, from Bhagavatam we understand that. From Bhagavatam commentaries of Acharyas we understand that Balaram spoke to Nanda Maharaj. My dear Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba, because I am son of Vasudeva and whole world knows about it, and now that Kamsa died, it's more appropriate for me to stay in Mathura under my father Vasudeva's affection here. Because my father Vasudeva kept me in Vrindavan under your care only because of fear of Kamsa. Now that fear of Kamsa is no longer there, therefore I need to stay with my father. In in Mathura with Vasudeva. I will stay. But I cannot stay without Krishna. I can't stay without Krishna because I'm inseparable. Krishna and Balram grew up together. They crawled together. They walked together. Janubhyam sahapanibhyam ringamano vijahrutuhu. They crawled together like snakes. They stole butter together. They tended cows together. They played together. They cried together sometimes. They stole butter together. So I cannot stay away from Krishna. I cannot tolerate separation from Krishna. That is Balram's point. Then empathetic, supremely compassionate Nanda Maharaj started thinking, I will tolerate separation from Krishna, but I cannot tolerate Vasudeva's feelings of separation from Balram. Because Vasudeva reunited with Balram after a long time. Actually, since birth, he never stayed. Balram never stayed with Vasudeva. Now, Balram has to stay with Vasudeva only. But Balram will stay with Vasudeva only if Krishna stays with Balram. So, I will tolerate pain of separation from Krishna, but let Vasudeva not tolerate pain of separation from Balram. With that empathy, with that sympathy, Nanda Maharaj allowed Krishna to stay with Balram in Mathura with Vasudeva for some time, hoping that after some time he'll come back. But before that, lot of negotiations happened. Nanda Maharaj says, Krishna, you should come back. But Krishna says, Nanda Maharaj, I have so many other responsibilities to fulfill for the Yadus. Now that Kamsa is gone, Jarasandha may attack, many other supporters of Kamsa may attack. So Yadus are at threat, I need to spend some time with Yadus. So that is Krishna's argument. Then Sridhama comes and says, Krishna, you need to come back, all the gopas and cows are waiting for you. Then Krishna tries to convince them. And after long negotiations, Krishna gives some very beautiful jewels and some ornaments and some gifts to Nanda Maharaj, and very politely and respectfully, with tears in his eyes, sends Nanda Maharaj back to Vrindavan. So Nanda Maharaj comes back to Vrindavan without Krishna. I am going to the first part now, just for a moment. When Nanda Maharaj came back to Vraja, came back to Vrindavan without Krishna, without Balram, then Yashoda Mata saw Nanda Maharaj. She said, Nanda Maharaj, where is Krishna? I entrusted my most sacred treasure, Krishna, to you, and where is Krishna? You left my treasure there. Nanda Maharaj gave these jewels to Yashoda Mata. Krishna had sent them for you. Then Yashoda Mata sees the jewels and she feels that, what does Krishna think of him? Is he repaying for whatever he has experienced in Vrindavan? Does he think that we value these jewels and diamonds and these necklaces more than his personal presence? We don't want presents, we want his presence. So Yashoda Mata was devastated seeing this, and she became angry with Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj, why did you not leave all this jewelry in the kingdom of Yadus and bring Krishna here? How did you even bring them here? And Nanda Maharaj did not have an answer only. He did not have an answer because he is also not convinced. He took a decision, he implemented the decision, but without conviction. Yeah, why did I bring jewelry instead of Krishna? He is confused. For 3 days he could not answer the question of Yashoda Mata. For 3 days. Then after 3 days he kind of composed himself, and he told Yashoda Mata, Yashoda, please understand, our son is very truthful. He is Satyavadi. He promised me that after fulfilling certain responsibilities in Mathura, he will definitely come back and he will give his association to all of us. But now that he has some responsibilities to fulfill, for some time he has to stay there. And don't think that he's giving some payment by offering you all these necklaces and bracelets and anklets, etc. Don't think like that. Actually, these are all tokens of Krishna's love, Krishna's affection, Krishna's gratitude to you. If you accept them, Krishna will be happy. So see them as tokens of Krishna's love and Krishna's gratitude and Krishna's affection, and don't see them as Krishna's like trying to settle accounts by sending some ornaments. Then Yashoda Mata, very innocent, very simple, she felt, oh really? These are all tokens of Krishna's love? Krishna agreed to come back soon, very soon? If I wear these ornaments, Krishna will be happy? Nanda Maharaj said, yeah, of course, yeah, he will be happy. Then Yashoda picked up the ornaments and wore the ornaments immediately. She wore the necklace, she wore the bracelets, and then she said, oh, if I wear these ornaments, Krishna will be very happy. Next time when he comes, he will see me with all these ornaments. He will understand that I followed his instruction and he will stay with me. He will not go anywhere else. With that emotion, Yashoda Mata accepted all this. And same thing, Nanda Maharaj had to console all the other gopis and other Vrajavasis. And after some time, Krishna stayed in Mathura for a while and he came back to Vrindavan. Now we are in Goloka Vrindavan. He came back to Goloka Vrindavan. Then, after some time, Akrura again came. He was sent by Kamsa. He said, Kamsa wants Krishna and Balram back in Mathura. Please send. Same scene repeated. Same crying, same emotion, same lamentation. Again Krishna goes. He destroys Kamsa. And same consolation scene, all will continue. And after some time, Krishna will come back. Then again Akrura came. And this Leela continues forever. Right? And now you may think that Vrajavasis, don't they remember that Akrura came back? Why did they allow him to come back again? He came sometime back, but again why is he coming? The answer to this question as given by Brihad Bhagavatamrita second part is, Vrajavasis completely forget that Akrura came earlier, came before. And many leelas like Krishna lifting Govardhan, Krishna subduing Kaliya, Krishna stealing butter, or Krishna doing many other mischievous activities or many other pastimes, they repeatedly happening eternally in the spiritual world Goloka Vrindavan and in this Gokul Vrindavan in Bhuloka also. They repeatedly keep happening, and somehow by the transcendental arrangement of Krishna, by the internal potency of Krishna, all the Vrajavasis forget these leelas. And they participate in these leelas with great enthusiasm, with full emotions again and again, and even Krishna forgets these leelas. Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha. How can you say he will forget? Yeah, by the influence of his own energy, he will be overwhelmed with forgetfulness. Because forgetfulness also plays its role in Krishna's pastimes. And why all these pastimes are being enacted? Pastimes of union with Krishna, pastimes of separation from Krishna. Why are these being enacted so many times in the Bhuloka Vrindavan and Goloka Vrindavan? The answer is simple. To relish prema. The goal of our life is to attain Krishna prema. So Krishna experiences that prema or expresses that prema towards his devotees, and prema exists between Krishna and his devotees in two flavors. One is separation, one is meeting. Sambhoga and Vipralambha. Thus, many pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, either in this earthly plane or in the spiritual world, they are filled with these two flavors of union and separation, Vipralambha and Sambhoga. In both cases, they are experiencing pure love for Krishna. Their situation of separation enhances their excitement and eagerness when they meet Krishna next time. And the loving exchanges that they have with Krishna, that will enhance their remembrance of Krishna when Krishna is not with them. Now this whole narration is being given by Gopakumar Sarupa in this Bhuloka Vrindavan to Pragjyotishpura Brahmana in that groove, isn't it? Then this Pragjyotishpura Brahmana, after hearing 6 chapters, he had a question. Sarupa, now Krishna is in Mathura, right? Yes. Are you not feeling separation from him? Don't you want to leave Vrindavan and go to Mathura? Because when you felt separation from so many forms of the Lord in different lokas, you wanted to leave the loka and go to a place where you get constant and consistent association of Krishna. But now you are in separation from Krishna, Krishna is elsewhere, don't you want to leave Goloka Vrindavan and go to Mathura? Then Sarupa said, no, not just me, none of the Vrajavasis wanted to leave Vrindavan and go to Mathura. Because we experience great love and affection for Krishna only in Vrindavan whether Krishna is in Vrindavan or outside Vrindavan, our love for Krishna is experienced to the ultimate limit only in Vrindavan. We are so attached to Vrindavan. That's Goloka Vrindavan's flavor. That's why when the gopis are seeing, well, Vrajavasis are seeing Krishna at Kurukshetra, dressed like a Dwarka prince, along with Balaram and Subhadra, surrounded by elephants and chariots and horses and soldiers and kings and many other royal personalities, they couldn't appreciate Krishna in that attire, in that place. Within their hearts, they were just pulling Krishna, Krishna, come back to Vrindavan. And that pull is Jagannath Rath Yatra. Right? So Vrindavan is an integral part of the experience of loving exchanges between Vrajavasis and Krishna. Without Vrindavan, you just take the same pastimes that happen, Damodar Lila, or Mridabhakshan Lila, or the Sakya pastimes, or Madhurya pastimes, or Vatsalya pastimes. You take all these pastimes from Vrindavan and place them in Dwarka. Total incompatibility. Or place them in Mathura. They cannot experience the same joy. Put in Kurukshetra or Hastinapur. No. They have to experience only in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a manifestation of Krishna's internal potency. Vrindavan is presided by the supreme goddess of devotion, Srimati Radharani, assisted by so many energies of the Lord like Yogamaya, Purnamasi and all of them. So they have to facilitate all the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan only. And in Vrindavan, although sometimes Krishna goes out of Vrindavan, the Vrajavasis stay in Vrindavan forever. And they experience pure love for Krishna in separation sometimes. And they experience pure love for Krishna in union sometimes. But they will never leave Vrindavan. So that is the explanation given by Sarupa to this Pragjyotishpur Brahmana. So then, as Pragjyotishpur Brahmana is very nicely enlightened by Gopakumar's wonderful journey, and he started speaking some pastimes that took place, some pleasure pastimes and some painful pastimes that took place. Painful means even that pain is also pleasure only in spiritual world. So that separation pastimes that took place in Goloka Vrindavan, and he narrated to Pragjyotishpur Brahmana, and he concluded saying that by the Lord's will, by the arrangement of the Lord's potency, sometimes I stay in Goloka Vrindavan, sometimes I stay in Bhuloka Vrindavan, because these two abodes are non-different. Some pastimes happen here, some pastimes happen there, some pastimes happen at both places. It just keeps on happening. So I am sometimes here, sometimes there, but wherever I am, whether in Bhuloka or Goloka, this Bhuloka Vrindavan or Goloka Vrindavan, the experience is same. Because I am just relishing Krishna's loving pastimes, and I am feeling the presence of Krishna even in his absence. And in feeling separation from Krishna, I am relishing love for Krishna more. Therefore, I am happy. And by the way, you worshipped Kamakhya Devi, and you received Gopala Mantra from Kamakhya Devi, and you developed so much of curiosity to come in your spiritual journey up to this point. Please understand that Kamakhya Devi is a representative or an expansion of Srimati Radharani in Goloka Vrindavan. And that same Srimati Radharani instructed me to come to this groove and instruct you with my life story. So Radharani told Gopakumar, go, that Pragjyotishpur Brahman is there. I told him, I gave him that Gopal mantra, and he's on his journey. He met Karmis, he met Jnanis, he met Bhaktas, and he will come to Vrindavan eventually. There you have to enlighten him. You have to guide him in his spiritual journey by narrating your story. And with Radharani's instruction, with her blessings, I came here to serve you. Then Pragjyotishpur Brahmana fell flat at Gopakumar's, Sarupa's feet, and till now he was enlivened, but he did not fully, his love for Krishna is not fully awakened. Then Sarupa touched his head with his hand, and by the touch of a great Vaishnava, great devotee, this Pragjyotishpur Brahmana became completely purified, and both of them were sitting next to each other. The Supreme Lord Krishna came there, playing his flute. And suddenly, Gopakumar and Pragjyotishpur Brahmana, they both look at Krishna, and this Brahmana faints in ecstasy. Then Krishna comes and caresses him, touches him, and wakes him up, revives him, and says that, my dear Jana Sharma, welcome to my pastimes. So this Pragjyotishwar Brahmana's name is Jana Sharma. Krishna reveals it. And Krishna bestows upon him a beautiful form as Gopal, as a cowhead boy. Now Krishna is there, Balram also is there, Sridama, Sudama, Subal, all the Gopas also are there in this Bhuloka Vrindavan. They descended there, and Sarupa is there, and Jana Sharma is also there. So they are also taking the forms of cowhead boys, and all of them entered Yamuna. They were doing some Yamuna pastimes. They were splashing water on each other. They were just happily enjoying their Vraja pastimes. The cows were there. They were tending cows. And they came after bathing, they came out and they sat on the bank of Yamuna in a circle, and they were having their meals. They were feeding each other. They were having all those loving exchanges. And with this, Krishna went back. Now his pastimes are happening in Goloka also, Bhuloka also, in this earthly Vrindavan also, and in that transcendental Goloka Vrindavan also, that's happening. And Sarupa just revived, Jana Sharma got his form as a cowhead boy and associate of Krishna. And this is how Parikshit Maharaj concluded his narration to Mother Uttara. And he said, my dear mother, if at all you also want to attain Krishna, especially in Vrindavan, Goloka, you need to do your sadhana. You perform your sadhana bhakti. So now my time is up. I am going in my journey. Now you start your journey, you perform your sadhana. And this is how Jaimini Rishi concluded his narration towards Janamejaya. And he concluded his narration by quoting so many beautiful nectar slokas from Srimad Bhagavatam and many other scriptures, primarily Bhagavatam, describing Krishna and his pastimes and his relationship with all the devotees. And that's how Sanatana Goswami brings a conclusion to Brihad Bhagavatam's second part. Now the main highlights, if you go through this pastime, revisit this pastime, you will see that in Gopakumar's journey or in Pragjyotishpur Brahmana's journey, we see that they had a simplicity of heart. They had humility. They never criticized anyone. They never offended anyone. They met so many wonderful personalities in their spiritual journey. At one time, these wonderful personalities were way more spiritually advanced than these personalities. And they learned some things from these great personalities. Yet, because of their own intense longing, their own simplicity, especially their commitment to chanting the holy name of the Lord given by their instructors, given by their gurus, they advanced more than many other personalities that they met. At one point, they were more enlightened. These people are taking some inputs from them, but these people surpassed them also. How did that happen? How these people are quickly evolving in their spiritual journey and attaining the lotus feet of Krishna, and why some of their guides are also not there. Some have their own rasas with Krishna, their own relations with Krishna, their own attachment to specific forms of Krishna. But coming to Gopakumar and this Pragjyotishpur Brahmana, they had great commitment to chanting the holy names of the Lord as instructed by their spiritual guides, and they maintained their deep humility and simplicity and Vaishnava character. So the lesson for us as sadhaka bhaktas is, we need to be rooted in our sadhana bhakti. We need to be rooted in our instruction, in the instructions that we receive from our spiritual authorities. Now, we saw a lot of journey of Gopakumar, but this morning, when Gopakumar went to Goloka Vrindavan, it's a totally different realm. The kind of joy there, pleasure there, and the flavor of pastimes there, they're of a totally different breed. Especially last half an hour we were discussing this morning. All pastimes between Yashoda Mata, then Krishna, Balaram, Nanda Maharaj, Gopis, they're divine. So sometimes a sadhaka bhakta who is still having anarthas in the heart like lust, envy, pride, greed, they also may prematurely, immaturely feel that I am on that level because I am hearing that or I am reading that. So we can see that, we can understand where they are. We need to also understand where we are. And to fill the gap, what is the process of filling this gap or reducing this gap? Our own commitment to the sadhana, the regimen given by the acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada, by the representatives of Srila Prabhupada, by our own instructing gurus and initiating gurus. Because that's the main lesson that we can take from Gopakumar's journey. See, he went through higher and higher realms of bhakti primarily because he's rooted in his own sadhana. His own sadhana bhakti he committed with pure commitment, responsibility, without any distraction, without any deviation. You remember in the first day, I think 6 days back, we were discussing Dhruva Maharaj's journey. Dhruva Maharaj, he was instructed by Narada Muni, although he had a material ambition of becoming someone superior to even Brahma also, although he had a material ambition, Dhruva Maharaj consistently practiced bhakti. He consistently chanted the mantra given by his guru, Narada Muni, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, because of his abhideya, pure practice of the process given by the spiritual master, by Narada Muni, he attained the darshan of the Lord. When we go through the stories of either Prahlad Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj or Gopakumar or many other exalted devotees, we may sometimes focus on the ultimate result they attained, but as sadhakas, we should also focus on the sadhana that they did, the means through which they attained that goal. So the purpose of discussing this long journey of Gopakumar and especially his experiences in Golok Vrindavan is not to just have some emotional stimulation or some kind of excitement in the mind to hear some esoteric stuff and prematurely think that one is on that level. But we need to be grounded in our Vaishnava qualities and we need to be grounded in our own sadhana regimen given by our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada. And especially studying the purports of Srila Prabhupada, studying Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, nectar of instruction, such foundational literatures of bhakti is of vital importance. Once we lay a wonderful philosophical foundation and when we are rooted in our practices of bhakti and understanding of philosophy coming from especially our founder Acharya's purports, then on top of that foundation you can just read other books and understand things with the permission of spiritual master, with the permission of spiritual authorities. I was instructed by His Holiness Devamrit Maharaj 5 years back, 2001. Why don't you write Subodhini for Brihad Bhagavatamrita? I said, Maharaj, I didn't study it. When I study it, when I feel confident to compile a guide like that, I will try. But at this moment, I didn't do it. Then after some time, eventually I started studying it. Then I asked my own spiritual master, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj. Devamrit Maharaj asked me like this, what is your instruction? You should write, because Maharaj asked you. So with the blessings and instruction and guidance of these two Maharajas, I am very, very grateful to go through Brihad Bhagavatamrita with the explanations given by Gopi Parandhan Prabhu. Very beautiful explanations given by Gopi Parandhan Prabhu, and just I went through, but let me admit I am not qualified either to speak or write or experience any of this. Like these are like way beyond my comprehension, but because I was given this service to read and write and speak, I am just doing it for the pleasure of Vaishnavas, but I am not qualified, especially the last chapter that we discussed. So they are all on a very, very high plane, and we are struggling with our own anarthas. At least I am struggling with my own anarthas. A sadhaka is supposed to focus on one's own sadhana and execute the instructions given by spiritual authorities to the best of one's ability, maintaining one's humility and simplicity and obedience and submissiveness, and not jump into very esoteric realms. And occasionally, when it is required in certain forums, we may speak, but these are not meant to be spoken. These are like, NVCC means very, very seasoned, experienced, strict sadhakas are here. So At the request of the temple authorities, I spoke, but I don't think I'm qualified at all to come to this, to describe or to experience these pastimes. I just did my humble service. If there are any mistakes in my service, if my presentation is inaccurate or inappropriate or any flaws, faults, shortcomings, I fall at your lotus feet and humbly beg forgiveness from each and every one of you and seek your blessings so that I can understand them nicely and then internalize them before aspiring to approach them. But our sadhana is of prime importance. Our Vaidhi sadhana, regulated practice of devotional service as instructed by our spiritual masters, that's our main course as sadhakas. And sincerity in chanting the holy names of Krishna is the main thing. And maintaining Vaishnava character is of prime importance. I feel these are my most prominent lessons from Gopakumar's journey. 1. Sincere chanting of the holy names of Krishna. 2. Submissiveness to the instructions of spiritual authorities. 3. Genuinely respecting all the Vaishnavas, all the devotees whom we meet in our spiritual journey. Not criticizing anyone, not demeaning anyone, not disrespecting anyone, not looking down upon anyone, even if you happen to get access to something higher. Gopakumar never disrespected anyone. And maintaining one's own simplicity, not getting allured by any attractions of this material world. Gopakumar went to Indraloka. He is not at all allured by the majesty and opulence and grandeur of Svargaloka. He became Brahma. He is not at all attached to the throne of Brahma. He became the king of a Vaishnava kingdom. He became the king of Jagannath Puri Dham. But absolutely no attachment to power and position and influence. Even while practicing sadhana bhakti, we may be given certain respect, power, position, privilege, praise, claps, appreciation. We should not take any of these things to heart. Gopakumar never took any credit for whatever praise that he is receiving. Gopakumar never felt a sense of entitlement for any privileges that he had, that he got access to. Gopakumar never had attachment to those privileges also. So when we feel a sense of entitlement for certain privileges or respect or certain treatment in the Vaishnava community, that sense of entitlement kills our gratitude. We need to be grateful for what we receive. But if I think I deserve this, no gratitude. Sense of entitlement destroys our gratitude. And eagerness to take credit for our accomplishments, that will destroy our humility. Whenever somebody is praising our accomplishments, all the credit for all that praise goes to Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas. Krishna ultimately. So when we are honest enough, when we uphold that integrity to pass on the credit that we are receiving for our accomplishments humbly, transparently to the authorities, to our spiritual superiors, then we are safe. If we keep something with us, some for them, some credit for them, some for me. And that whatever little bit of credit we are keeping ourselves, that will grow. That will grow into pride. That will grow into arrogance. Then we start looking down upon other devotees. We may disrespect them, demean them, look down upon them, have a sense of superiority complex. Then where is the possibility of attaining Goloka Vrindavan? Uddhava, Narada Muni, they were repeatedly telling in the yesterday's chapter, we couldn't complete it because time is less. So repeatedly telling that Gopakumar, you came up to this point in your spiritual journey only because of your humility and simplicity. Your dainya gave you prema, and that prema will be nourished only by your dainya. Continue your sadhana, continue your Vaishnava qualities. See, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Sikshashtakam, right? In the first shloka, what did he do? He gave the 7 effects of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam means chanting or glorifying Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. In the second shloka, he specifically focused on Nama Sankirtan. First is Krishna Sankirtanam, that includes Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Second is Nam akari bahudane sarva shakti. Second shloka is zooming into only Nam. But how can we take shelter of that Nam? At the end of the second shloka, what did he say? Durdaivam idrishamiha jani na anuragaha. My durdaivam, my misfortune is, although I understand the glories of the name of Krishna, I don't have sufficient attraction to chanting these names. So how to destroy this misfortune of lack of attraction to chant Krishna's names? Answer is simple. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. We destroy the misfortune of lack of taste in chanting Krishna's names, and we'll be able to chant Krishna's names continuously, do kirtaniya sada harihi, to the degree we develop humility, tolerance, not desiring respect from anyone and being ready to give all respects to everyone. No hankering to be honored by anyone. So when we have these four qualities, then we'll be able to chant the names of the Lord nicely. That is the essence of Gopakumar's story, isn't it? He maintained this Trinadapi Sunichana everywhere, Tarorapi Saishnuna everywhere, respected everyone, never accepted respect. Even if he's given respect, he's not attached to that respect. No position, no power. Even the power and position is there, he never misused it for his sense gratification. Even if he's relinquishing that position, it's only for getting into a deeper relationship with Krishna. So he held on to some things which are unchangeable. Our positions will change. Even our varnas and ashrams and genders and nationalities will change across different lifetimes. But one thing that should never change is our attachment to the chanting of the holy names of Krishna and our upholding of Vaishnava character. In this material world of constantly changing situations, we need to prioritize holding on to those things that will never change eternally. Holy name of Krishna is eternal, it will never change. Vaishnava character is supposed to be eternal. All the Golokavasis are humble. All the Vaikuntavasis are humble. All the Ayodhyavasis are humble. All the residents of the spiritual world are humble. They are unattached to any power and position. And they are rooted in their own service to Krishna, worship of Krishna. So as sadhakas, we need to be rooted in our own worship of Krishna, our own sadhana as instructed by the acharyas, and respectfully approach these exalted episodes in line with the teachings of the parampara and not in a mode of sahajiya. While I am still dozing off in my japa, where is the possibility of accessing Golaka Vrindavan? So we need to understand where we are, and we can understand where we need to reach, and what fills the gap? Our sincerity, our determination, our sadhana. Srimad Bhagavatam take utmost care in not allowing us to become sahajiyas. Because throughout Srimad Bhagavatam there is constant philosophical discussion. Even in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is constant philosophical discussion. Even in Damodar Leela, such sweet loving exchange between Krishna and Yashoda Mata, there is constant philosophical discussion. First half of Damodar Leela, 9th chapter of 10th canto, is description of Leela, very sweet. But second half, Nachantar na bahiryasya na purvam na pichaparam, all the Aishwarya comes. Damodar Ashtakam, how does it begin? Namam Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam. Then comes Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam. Right? All these nice swinging makara shaped earrings of Krishna constantly kissing the cheeks of Damodar. And Gokule Bhrajamanam, then Yashoda Bhiya Ulukala, all this narration comes in the second line, from the second line. But first understand, Namami Ishwaram, this crying baby boy who is doing a lot of mischief and getting scolded by his mother is Ishvara, the Supreme Lord Krishna. Sachidananda Rupam. So first we need to equip ourselves with the tattvic understanding, philosophical understanding of Krishna's tattva, bhakti tattva. Then on the foundation of that deep, authentic, bona fide philosophy as taught by our founder Acharya, then we can attempt to enter other books and other literatures, Goswami's literatures, with the blessings of our spiritual authorities. Even in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a most confidential communication happening between Krishna and the gopis. That is Uddhava's visit to Vrindavan. What could be a more confidential communication than what happens between Krishna and gopis? That too carried by Uddhava. In that confidential letter written by Krishna to the gopis, there is deep philosophical discussion. Acharyas write there, you can read 10th canto purports. There is constant philosophical discussion throughout Bhagavatam so that we don't become sahajiyas. We both immaturely or prematurely think that we are on a higher platform even while reading 10th canto pastimes. One may think, why did Prabhupada give 10th canto Bhagavatam first before even completing all the cantos of Bhagavatam in the form of Krishna book? In Krishna book, Prabhupada gave first canto also, second canto also, third canto also. You see, all the Krishna pastimes in Krishna book are narrated with lot of philosophical discussion, so many lessons which are relevant for a sadhaka. Yes, he is describing very elevated, exalted Vrindavan pastimes of Krishna with nicely presenting, intertwining them with Krishna Tattva, with philosophy. So, Bhagavatam is taking care that we don't become sahajiyas. Sukadeva Goswami is taking care. Srila Prabhupada is taking care. Our own spiritual authorities are taking care that we don't become sahajiyas. So occasionally during Kartik month or some other occasion, Janmashtami, Radhashtami, or this kind of gatherings, we may discuss some very elevated pastimes that happen in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna's pastimes, and Vipralambha, Sambhoga and all that. To know what is the potential of a soul. To this degree a soul can experience Krishna Prema and express Prema for Krishna. That's the benchmark, or that's the role model devotees are there. But while hearing them or while reading them, while trying to understand them, we need to know where we are, and we should very well know what fills this gap. Right? So with these comments, with this humble concluding words, I will stop this narration of Brihad Bhagavatamrita here. So thank you so much. I am very, very grateful to all the devotees at NVCC Pune since 2007. When I was a resident of Nigadi here, I have been coming to Kunjibai Hari temple. I came here just before construction. I have been seeking nourishment from all the devotees of Pune, preachers of Pune, who are trained under the able guidance of His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. So this is a very sacred place for me, this Pune. So when I was looking for some nourishment and guidance in bhakti from a distance, I am just coming and hearing whenever my time permits. I was working in force motors. Sunday is not off, Thursday is off, because there is power cut area in Nigadi there in those days. Thursday program happens in Marathi. I can't understand anything there. Sometimes I bunked my office to come here and hear some class on Sunday and Saturday, and some prerana. Some equivalent of prerana happened, right, in those days. So I used to come here for some nourishment. So now it's continuing. 2016 I came here again after 9 years gap for Bhakti Vaibhav. Now also I'm coming again. This is my longest visit to Pune. 3 days bliss camp, 3 days Brihad Bhagavatamrita session. 6 days I'm here. Almost 1 week I'm here, right, Prabhu? So this is my longest stay in Pune in the last several years. So I'm very grateful to all of you for your hospitality, for your love and affection, for your care, and especially for your exemplary sadhana and your strict adherence to the teachings of Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. And I don't deserve all the attention and affection that you are giving me, but I am very grateful to you. I take it as a blessing. So kindly forgive me if I have made any mistakes in my seva. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What's the time now? 7. Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
To know how Gokumar traveled in his material body or ethereal body?
His body is getting transformed wherever he went.
Interplanetary system travel.
Yes. When he is entering upper planets or entering the layers covering the universe, or entering the spiritual world, every time his body is getting transformed and developing that form which is suitable and compatible with the ambience in which he is entering.
But when he comes back to earth, then he again gets a material body.
Not necessarily. It's not mentioned. The transformation and upgradation of body is mentioned very clearly. When he entered the earthly layer, Prithvi Avarana, he got a new body. When he entered the other layers, he got a new body. When he went to Brahmajyoti and beyond Vaikuntha, he got a purely spiritual body. His body is getting transformed.
But when he came
But when
back
he
to
came back
Mathura,
here, probably he may maintain his spiritual body, because when he went there, but I don't know.
he met the Brahmana and he talked to him, so...
Prajyotishpur Brahmana, he is in spiritual body, pure spiritual body, there. From Goloka Vrindavan, he came to Bhuloka Vrindavan to enlighten this Brahmana under the instruction of Srimati Radharani. So he has spiritual body, undoubtedly. When he was meeting
no
this
matter.
Brahmana. Huh?
No matter.
Spiritual body means no matter.
But then how the Brahmana would recognize him?
By Radharani's blessings, because Krishna arranged for this Prajyotishpur Brahmana to meet and seek guidance of Gopakumar, Gopakumar becomes visible to him. By Krishna's arrangement, all this is possible.
Thank you.
That's what I understand. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Any other question, comment, objection?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It was really like a 3 days full packed yatra, morning, evening. It was wonderful sessions. And one question I had was, we always heard that the baby pastimes, childhood pastimes of Krishna, they happen only in material world, Gokul Vrindavan, not in spiritual world, because in spiritual world he is always in a youthful form. And also the demons' pastimes are also only enacted in material world. So how to reconcile
In
both
the spiritual world, Krishna doesn't kill demons. Whether it's Arishtasur or Keshi that we discussed today, that happened in spiritual world, but Krishna did not kill them. He just simply subdued them and engaged them for horse riding and agriculture activities. Arishtasur became an agricultural bull, and Keshi became a horse that Gopas engaged for riding. So that happens. And sometimes to create some excitement in the pastimes of Krishna in the spiritual world, Krishna's spiritual energy or Yoga Maya can manifest some forms of demons just to give Krishna some kind of experience of fighting for a while. Of course, he comes to material world to fight, that's clear, his descriptions. Sometimes it may happen there also, right? But it's only to enhance Krishna's pastimes. Demons sometimes may be there, but they don't create havoc like the demons in the material world, but they are only there to enhance the flavor of Krishna's pastimes. Now, Devatas also are there in the spiritual world. Somebody was asking me this morning, how can there be night in spiritual world? How can there be day in spiritual world? We thought, totally day. Nandatad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante. You know that, right? No, in spiritual world is not illuminated by sun or moon or electricity or fire. Yes, it is correct. Spiritual world is self-effulgent. Goloka Vrindavan is self-effulgent. Krishna is self-effulgent. And all the associates of Krishna in the spiritual world are self-effulgent. But still there is night and day, sun and moon. Just to participate in Krishna's pastimes. Just to create a night ambience so that Krishna can enjoy some pastimes. Create a day ambience, morning ambience or evening ambience or midday ambience, just so that Krishna can enjoy the pastimes. But the sun and moon are not the source of illumination in the spiritual world. In the material world, if sun is not there, moon is not there, fire is not there, material world is dark. But in the spiritual world, it's never dark, even in the absence of sun and moon. But sun and moon are there only to create some day effect and night effect, morning effect and evening effect, so that Krishna can enjoy and relish his pastimes with his beloved associates. Okay, Matas?
and baby form? Baby form of Krishna.
Baby form is not there. So Krishna celebrates his birthday in this material world, Janmashtami.
No, this Trinavarta pastime that you
That
narrate.
happened here. I narrated from our Bhagavatam. Our Bhagavatam pastime described in the 7th chapter. That's Bhuloka, not Goloka.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Two more hands.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और ग्लोरी टू श्रील प्रभुपाद। तो मैं हिंदी में कहना चाहती हूँ उसमें, जो स्क्रूटिनाइजिंगली आपने श्रीमद् भागवत का इतना अच्छा पढ़ा है और वही स्वरूप है जिसके कारण इतना सुंदर फ्लो ऑफ ये भागवत अमृत हम लोग सुन पा रहे हैं। तो आपने अंत में इसको कंक्लूजन किया है कि विदाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द फिलोसॉफिकल पॉइंट we can't come into a conclusion that how that humility has to be developed, that service attitude has to be developed, the loyalty, the grateful, the gratitude, and how we have to be with your seniors, with your instructions of the seniors, with your and that can be seen by your katha. So it was so enlivened for last I couldn't able to, but I was there in the YouTube with completely, and I was remembering Radha Govind Maharaj with that katha. With such a flow, we are entering in the pastimes of that. Thank you so much for your enlivened class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Need your blessings.
Yeah, you are blessed already. Divine Guru Maharaj blessings.
One more thing that is, one more very important point that we can learn from Gopakumar's story is the significance of Srimad Bhagavatam in our spiritual life. Throughout Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami quotes Bhagavatam shlokas left, right, center, everywhere. Even in Dwarka Dham, Uddhava and Nardamani are quoting Bhagavatam shlokas. So, and even in the spiritual realm, Vaikuntha-vasis instructed Gopakumar, go and hear Bhagavatam and come back to Vaikuntha. Come to Vaikuntha. Before entering Vaikuntha, you should do Bhagavata Sravanam. Follow the 9 ways of bhakti. So, Brihad Bhagavatamrita is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in this essence, lot of slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam are there, are quoted left, right, center. So, we need to understand that Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. So, my affection and attraction towards Bhagavatam increased even more after reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Hari Hari. Yeah, some other. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm feeling very indebted towards you to bless us with your divine association and Darshan and Katha. It was my great pleasure to hear about Krishna, Gopakumar, Vrindavan, and especially the mood of Vrindavan. And in all these 6 episodes, you pointed out 2 things majorly. First one is rendering service to Krishna by reciting his holy name, and second with humility. So I would like to apologize in advance if I ask any wrong question. Or
First ask, we'll understand.
yeah. So how to practice this humility? Like without humility, we cannot have any realization with the name. So, because I find it very difficult for me. I can see that there is a lot of ego and pride in me. I can see it coming out in my, majorly in office. So, it's very difficult for me. So, like I know the verses in Shikshashtakam like Trinadapi Sunichena. I constantly remind myself with them, but it's like, I feel like it's like I'm like a pirate, not understanding or realizing any of the words. I'm just reciting it, that's it.
Yes,
So how to practice it? Yeah.
There is a lot of gap between our understanding and application. And the whole sadhana bhakti is meant to reduce that gap between our theoretical understanding and practical application of the lessons that we are learning. Coming to your question of how to cultivate humility, there are many ways. Physically, on a bodily plane, we cultivate humility by offering obeisances to Vaishnavas, offering obeisances to Krishna, deities, and by doing menial services that do not require any specialization. Menial service. So by doing menial services and by offering obeisances, we cultivate humility on a physical plane or bodily plane. On a verbal plane, we cultivate humility by not bragging about ourselves, by not boasting about our achievements and accomplishments, by not constantly trying to praise ourselves or appreciate ourselves or speak about ourselves, either highly or lowly. So whether we speak highly about ourselves or lowly about ourselves too frequently, that's another way of self-absorption, self-infatuation. So, speak less about ourselves and speak more about Krishna. Speak more about Vaishnavas. That's how we can verbally practice humility. And another facet of verbally practicing humility is by speaking our shortcomings. If we have some flaws and shortcomings, if we have made some mistakes, humbly admit them instead of covering them up. Try to rectify them instead of justifying them. Yes, we make mistakes. We are sadhakas, right? We are not siddhas. Some of you may be, but I am not yet. So, as long as we are in the practice stage, sadhana stage, there are imperfections, there are faults, there are shortcomings. As Prabhupada says, there are 4 defects of a conditioned soul, they are there. But when we at least realize that there is a shortcoming, let's try to admit it honestly. Not that you put on Instagram status so that the whole world will know this is the shortcoming that he is going through. But at least admit them in front of some reliable, trustworthy, affectionate, well-wishing Vaishnavas who can help you overcome that shortcoming. At least admit them honestly in front of the deities. At least be honest with yourself. So honestly admitting our shortcomings and faults and not overly bragging about ourselves or praising ourselves or speaking about ourselves, we practice verbally humility. Then this verbal practice of humility and physical practice of humility on a bodily plane is valid and is sustainable only to the degree we practice humility internally, mentally, at heart, within the heart. And within our heart, we need to be convinced that we are fallen. I am lowly. I am unqualified. I am disqualified. Not in a mode of self-absorption, but really we should be convinced that I need to grow. I am not yet there. Only when we understand our current lowly position, internally when we are convinced, not verbally speaking, but internally we are convinced about it, then that internal conviction about our lowly fallen condition will induce an inspiration to improve ourselves to a higher plane with the support of other Vaishnavas. And in the heart of the hearts you understand, I cannot improve myself, I cannot elevate myself to a higher consciousness without the support of Vaishnavas. So that understanding that you need support of Vaishnavas will make you humble. If you think, I can grow spiritually on my own, I will read Gita, I will read Bhagavatam, I know Sanskrit, I know Vyakaran, I have ChatGPT with me. If I have any questions, I will ask questions to ChatGPT, it will answer authentic answers that ChatGPT gives. I have Veda base or folio or whatever, so I will grow on my own. Why do I need Sangha? That's lack of humility, by the way. At every moment, we are dependent on Vaishnava's guidance, Vaishnava's association. That conviction in the heart will induce humility in us. Gopakumar, although he is getting elevated, at every stage of his life he is getting guidance, isn't it? Sometimes the Lord is guiding him, sometimes some devotees are guiding him, sometimes Brahaspati guides him, sometimes who is that now? Pippalayana Rishi guides him, sometimes Uddhava guides him, Narada Muni guides him, Vishnu guides him, Mahapurusha guides him. So Lord is guiding and Lord's representatives, the devotees are guiding him. Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam, needed guidance by Narada Muni, from Narada Muni. So at every stage we need guidance. Understanding the need for guidance and being convinced about the need for guidance makes us humble. We are not self-sufficient in our spiritual life. And one more thing, when we are genuinely grateful for whatever support that we receive in our lives, physically, emotionally, spiritually, especially spiritually, when we are genuinely grateful for all the support that we are receiving from so many Vaishnavas around us, our parents, our teachers, our counselors, our mentors, our Vaishnavas in general, our gurus, that gratitude will make us humble. And our own understanding of our past fallen condition, currently also a lot of shortcomings are there, but some time back there is more, right? So 10 years back I was here, now somehow by Vaishnava's grace I am here. So what does it mean? Vaishnavas brought this transformation. They brought me from here to here. That knowledge, that awareness of the involvement of devotees in our lives to elevate our consciousness naturally makes us humble, should make us humble. Yes, your determination is there to improve yourself, but your determination is always coupled by enlivening association, enlightening association, encouraging association. That will make us humble. Hanumanji accomplished, but Jambavan is behind him. Right? So, sincerely, honestly acknowledging the contribution of other Vaishnavas to our spiritual lives will make us humble. When we don't acknowledge that contribution of other Vaishnavas in our spiritual lives, we'll be arrogant. Right? In many other ways. I think this is sufficient for today. Hari Hari. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Prabhuji, for a very nectarian series of 6 classes on Brihad Bhagavatamrit and 1 Srimad Bhagavatam class, and Japa talks also in the morning. That was really very helping me in my Krishna consciousness.
I did overtime in the last 6 days. Yes, Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, after hearing this story of Gopakumara, I had a question like, when we are absorbed in our sadhana and swadhyaya, as you mentioned, focusing on chanting the holy names and submissively following Guru's instruction and developing Vaishnava qualities, along with all these things, how we should not forget the missionary spirit which Prabhupada gave us. Like Prabhupada said, preaching is the essence, and we have to go out and share this message with everyone. Sometimes we may get too much absorbed in our own deliverance.
Bhajan.
So, and we may not have that compassionate feeling for others who are suffering outside, like we hear in the prayers of Vasudev Dutt and Prahlad Maharaj. So how to balance between my own sadhana, going back to Godhead, and also preaching this message to others suffering in this world. Hare Krishna.
When we are alone, we may sometimes become biased towards one aspect of bhakti and neglect other aspects of bhakti. But when we are with devotees, with our mentors or counselors or guides, they will give us the right balance of Namaruchi, Jivadaya and Vaishnava Seva. All 3. So we are all under guidance, right? You may think that, oh, I will go deep into my own sadhana, my own chanting, my own reading of Prabhupada books, my own development of Vaishnava character, humility and all. What about missionary spirit? What about preaching? What about seva? Devotees are there to engage us in seva. We will get sufficient seva. Stay with devotees. Stay under the guidance of devotees. So basically guidance and mentorship that will balance our spiritual lives. Of course, we have to take personal voluntary commitment to our sadhana also. Whenever you feel that this is creating some imbalance, go and express. Right? They will guide us further. But that missionary spirit is inculcated in us by those who have that missionary spirit. That preaching spirit is inculcated in us, that Jivadaya, compassion on conditioned souls who are in the material world, that compassion is inculcated in us when we submit to, or when we are submissive to those people who have that compassion. Right? So Vaishnava's guidance again. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Hey, this side, my head is this side only all the way. All questions come from this side.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
You continue.
Yeah. Initially, you mentioned that ultimately we should develop emotional bonding, not just intellectual conviction. So, could you please explain this emotional bonding means?
Yeah, we need to develop devotion for Krishna also. Not just having a technical understanding of Krishna Tattva, not just philosophical, intellectual understanding of Krishna Tattva, because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu clearly says that too much of jnana and too much of vairagya without bhakti will make our heart hard, will make our experience of spiritual life very dry. So don't be on the jnana platform, only philosophical, technical understanding only. Just we need to also develop that feelings, bonding, affection for Krishna, love for Krishna, devotion. Bhakti means devotion, right? But that devotion should not be on a sentimental platform. Therefore, we need philosophical backup, philosophical grounding. So a nice balance of intellectual, philosophical understanding of Krishna Tattva and finer sentiments and emotions and devotion for Krishna, that's a good balance in spiritual life. If one doesn't have proper philosophical understanding coming from authorized scriptures like Gita Bhagavatam and focuses only on like, oh, my emotions, my forgiveness, they may become little sentimental. Or sahaji also sometimes. But if someone is like too much into philosophy, tattva, analysis, my God, then they don't have finer sentiments only. Then they become too dry, they become hard-hearted, they cannot empathize with people, sympathize with people, they cannot be personal with people. We are supposed to be personal, right? Too much of jnana will make us impersonal. And we will not invest in Vaishnava relationships. When we are constantly on a knowledge platform, we cannot invest in Vaishnava relationships. If somebody's relative passed away, we say, you are not the body, you are the soul. You start counseling them on a jnana platform. You connect with his emotions. He's feeling bad. Where you need to connect with people through emotions, where you speak philosophy, you'll mess up the relation. Right? Some empathy, some sympathy, some compassion. These are all emotional side. So we need to be sharp on our rational side of personality also and emotional side also. So that balance of rational side and emotional side will make our bhakti more steady. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, very grateful to you, Prabhuji. I feel this presentation is actually very much rooting us and grounding us and actually giving us foundation for our spiritual growth, while hearing the wonderful pastimes what you narrated in all the remaining classes also. So I was also feeling little bit, am I doing extra, this Leelas, am I going into the Leela part only? But what you have spoken now is very, very relevant and very practical and actually elevating, much more elevating than everything what we heard from you. I had a small technical question only. Now we heard all the pastimes, what happened in Golok Vrindavan, and we have Golok Vrindavan pastimes in the form of what happened in Krishna book and 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam also. So now we hear some more pastimes, like Radharani getting married, and there is but Krishna goes hidingly. Krishna goes hidingly to Radharani's house. There are many other pastimes. In your narration that Krishna is always in Kaishora, Leelas now, that are being narrated now. Is there other part of Leelas also where elderly Krishna kind of pastimes are also there? Is it technical only? Just for information.
Krishna is eternally as Kaishora Murti. He is a young boy. Yesterday we saw, right? Kaishorardita Yavanarchito. He looks like a Kaishora Murti being worshipped by Yavana age. Kaishora is 10 to 15. Yavana is beyond 15. So he looks like a 15, 16-year-old boy eternally. 14 to 16-year-old boy eternally. He's on the verge of Kaishora and Yavana. But in that form also he can invoke Vatsalya feelings in mothers, Sakhya feelings in friends, by allowing them to perceive this Kaishora Murti in a Balya form and in Pauganda form also. That's the first sloka of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, where he can reveal all the Leelas, all the ages in one age also, depending on the mood of a devotee, depending on the rasa of a devotee. And as far as other pastimes that you mentioned, they are there in Garga Samhita, Ananda Vrindavan Champu, Gopal Champu, and the commentaries of Srimad Bhagavatam given by Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Some pastimes, some extra details of those pastimes come there. And many others are which I don't know, but many other books are also there describing those pastimes. Marriage is there in Garga Samhita.
They are there, they are happening in the Golok Vrindavan only.
They happen.
Because in the Golok Vrindavan, Krishna comes to Mathura, and after that there is no going back and there is no Leela there. All the Leelas are in Dwaraka. And
it happens. You see, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter, I think 9th shloka, the Dwarkavasis are saying, Krishna, you are constantly on a tour. Yarhyambujakshapasasarabo bhavan. Yarhyambujakshapasasarabo bhavan. Kurun mathun vata suhruddi drikshaya. तत्राब्दकोटि प्रतिमक्षणो भवेत् रविं विनाक्ष्णो रिवनस्तवाच्युतम्. They say, Yerhyambujaksha pasasaravo bhavan. Oh Ambujaksha, oh Krishna, sometimes you leave Dwaraka and go to visit some of your relatives in Kurun, means Hastinapur. Mathun means Mathura. Who is there in Mathura at that time? Nobody. Means Vrindavan only. Right? In the Mathura Mandal there is Vrindavan. Mathura is vacant. All the Mathuravasi shifted to Dwaraka. From Dwaraka, when Krishna is going to Mathura, that means he is going to Vrindavan. Acharyas quote this shloka. Kurun mathun vata suhrud didrkshaya. With great eagerness to see your suhruds, see your dear friends, you go to Vrindavan and sometimes you go to Hastinapur sometimes. But those visits are a bit occasional. Sometimes they are in vision, sometimes they are aprakata, sometimes, and actually Krishna promised Radharani that he will come every month to visit her. That may not be visible to everybody, but with that promise only Radharani allowed Krishna to go. Right? On that night when Akrura came, Krishna expanded himself into hundreds and thousands of forms and met every single gopi, reassuring them, I will come, don't worry. Okay.
Thank you, Priji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, like in our Bhakti Vedanta classes which you are taking, like every Saturday, Sunday, so Amrinder Prabhu was giving classes and there he had mentioned there are multiple Golokas and Krishna of different ages, like Vatsalya, 5 years age. It's not only Keshwara form. Because, and he justified saying that because the people of Vatsalya Ras, how will they get that rasa? Okay. So there are eternally Krishna 3 years old, Krishna 1 Goloka, 4 years old, another Goloka, like that. But yeah, repeatedly we have heard and you have also been telling that only it is Keshwara. So can you clarify this?
One thing is, I didn't read that book, whatever is, wherever it is being quoted from. But Krishna can be eternally Keshwara also. Krishna can reveal the sweetness or features of other ages in that Keshwara also. And Krishna can actually manifest other Balya, Pauganda also. But I need to do some more reading and hearing to understand that part. I didn't read it, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Maybe we can check with Amrinder Prabhu once.
Because he mentioned multiple Golokas also.
I didn't know.
Like that he mentioned. And 2 more questions are there. It's like in this, generally
I was there in the class, I missed that class, I think. I was in America that time. But I will check with him.
Yeah. So probably, and generally we hear once going to spiritual world, no one comes. But in this narration we saw many times Gopkumar came back from Vaikuntha to here. So that is another thing. Like generally one who goes, he doesn't come back.
By Krishna's grace, by Vaishnava's instruction, Uddhava instructed him to go. Clear?
Yeah.
Vishnudutta instructed him to go. It's self-evident.
Yeah, okay. And also, Prabhuji, we see, like generally we have heard from Prabhupada's books that before going to Goloka or spiritual world, one has to participate in a Leela going on in the material world. So in case of Gokumar and even Pratishtanpur Brahmana, we see directly Prag Jyotishpur Brahmana, both.
There may be multiple possibilities, Prabhu. Some things are inconceivable for a sadhaka, at least beyond comprehension of my current knowledge. So I heard that version also, and within Brihad Bhagavatamrita, whatever is mentioned, I just spoke.
Yeah.
So there may be different possibilities also. And actually he came here, he may not have participated in certain Leelas, at least it's not mentioned, but probably he's meditating on the Leelas. And that meditation may be equivalent to participation, we don't know, at least I don't know. But going to spiritual world is possible in multiple ways. We may not fix a template. By Krishna's grace, a devotee can attain the spiritual world in multiple ways. Sometimes by participating in a Leela when it is happening in the Bhauma Vrindavan, sometimes directly, sometimes by meditation, whatever.
Anything.
Okay. How many questions should we take? What's the time now? 7:30. Prabhu, you can. Huh? I'm okay. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. This
Hare
is the third
Krishna.
class today.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, in Chaitanya Leela we see Gadadhar Pandit as, like Srimati Radharani as Gadadhar Pandit. So like that, there are many associates of the Lord. They resemble in Navadvip Dham as well as in the spiritual world. So when these leelas are happening, those same personalities will be simultaneously existing, simultaneously leelas will be happening, or how it is?
They can simultaneously happen, Prabhu. This is a possibility. I don't know more than that.
Also, when Jiva goes back to the spiritual world, like we are in Sankirtan moment, so sometimes, I don't know it is true, I feel we may all go to eternal in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Mahaprabhu is there, the Sankirtan is going on, because we may go there. That thought comes sometime.
Hari Hari.
So what it is actually?
Happy journey. We don't know, Prabhu.
It is just a question, just I'm
current
asking.
responsibility is to be focused on the sadhana that is prescribed to us and instructed to us by the acharyas, by Prabhupada, by our gurus. And what Krishna has in store for us, what Krishna will bestow upon us in reciprocation with our sincere sadhana, it's up to him. What's in our hands? Japmala is in our hands. Bhagavatam is in our hands. So let's fulfill our responsibility towards these two elements, and some service is there in our hands. Let's commit to ourselves in this simple things, then other things will be revealed. Ajay Gaurang Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The Kamakhya Mata which you are discussing, so there is the same Shakti Peeth which is there in Assam, or this is something, because you are saying about Radharani, so...
Brihad Bhagavatamrita mentions that Kamakhya Devi is a representative of Srimati Radharani, expansion of Srimati Radharani. She is the wife of Shiva, but ultimately she is coming from Radharani.
This is the same Sati, Mata Sati.
Okay, I don't know about the DT, but I am just speaking based on the book only.
Because
So,
like
Sati Mata, Parvati, correct.
wherever the parts of Sati Mata fell, that became Shakti Peeth, and one of them is that Kamakhya in Assam.
Yeah, I heard that also, but I didn't read that description here. But it's possible.
Hare Krishna. So just like this Bharat Bhagavatamrita is there, so what else is there? You can give just a glimpse in short, like what else literature in our Gaudiya, and what will be your next book for us?
For that I need instruction. Approval, blessing. As of now I was instructed by my spiritual authorities to read Sandarbhas. I didn't start. Let's see. So I have 15, 16, 17 years I have been reading only GBC. Gita Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is my GBC for more than 1.5 decades. So repeatedly reading, speaking, writing based on these three only. But Maharaj instructed, Devamrita Maharaj said, why don't you work on Bharat Bhagavatamrita? I said, I'll read and I'll come back. And it took 5 years to come to this stage. Because I have some weakness. I am so addicted to or accustomed to or conditioned to Prabhupada's style of presentation. I need shloka, transliteration, word-to-word meanings, translation and purport. Then I'm satisfied reading a book. But many other books, they are not presented in that format, whatever is accessible to us. But Bharat Bhagavatamrita is very beautifully presented in the same format as Prabhupada by Gopi Barandan Prabhu. So I could follow it. But other books I need some guidance, and as of now nothing is. Chaitanya Bhagavat I want to read. Maharaj told, so I'm just reading. Chaitanya Bhagavat.
So my question is like, this is by Sanatana Goswami. So what is there by Rup Goswami? What is there by Gopal Bhatta?
Laghu Bhagavatamrita is there. There are many other books like Gopal Champu, Anandavrindavan Champu by Kavikarandapura, Gopal Champu by Jiva Goswami, Sandarbhas by Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Dharma by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and many esoteric literatures like Lalita Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, Vishnu Sekhar Thakur, so many are there. But first, let's focus on Prabhupada's books And with permission, with blessings, with instruction, let's go to the next level, other literatures. But we need to be rooted in the teachings of our founder Acharya before venturing into others. So, for that we need guidance. Constantly we need guidance. We cannot decide.
Thank you, Prabhu. I just needed some glimpse. I also don't want to read because I want to finish first Bhagavatam CC. Just needed some glimpse.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishnavi.
Idhar, this side, Prabhuji, I have this question about, like, it was mentioned also that 𝐾𝐚𝐫 was instructed by the Guru, who was actually Lord Vishnu only. So, question was, why does actually Lord Vishnu instructed him with Gopal mantra? Why he could have instructed him with some mantra which could bring them to Vaikuntha?
We need to consult Vishnu. What was in your mind by instructing Gopal mantra? Let's accept the pastime the way it has happened. Unless a Tikakar and Acharya reveals a specific reason why he instructed him in Gopal mantra only. But what is apparent, what is seen in the narration is 𝐾𝐽 innately had that attraction towards Madana Gopal, Krishna's Vrindavan form. So ultimately Vishnu and Krishna are not different. So Vishnu took the form of Guru and then guiding him. That's all I can understand. But we don't know. A specific reason must be revealed by some Acharya. Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna,
Kids'
Prabhuji.
questions also. Yeah.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for lecture. My question is that 𝐾𝐽 pastime happens in Goloka Vrindavan also? 𝐾𝐽 pastimes, killing 𝐾𝐽.
As far as killing is concerned, I heard from one of my dear friends, Madhav Gopal Prabhu, he's quoting from Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, I think, whether it is, they are there manifested by Yoga Maya to facilitate Krishna's pastimes, but actual killing may not happen. It must have mentioned, it's mentioned like that, but actual killing may not happen in the spiritual world, but they are there. They are there to create, to facilitate Krishna's loving exchange with his devotees. Because that 𝐾𝐽 episode, Akrura episode is there only to create that feeling of separation between Krishna and the Vrajavasis. So it's serving its purpose, right? But what exactly goes there, details are not given. Directly emotional exchanges between Vasudev, Nanda Maharaj and Krishna, they are presented. 𝐾𝐽 thing is concluded in one line.
Okay. I had then subsequent question, like you were telling Krishna used the other demons in like riding horse. So how Krishna used 𝐾𝐽?
Krishna destroyed 𝐾𝐽. Apparently, as a part of pastime, 𝐾𝐽's character is existing primarily to bring Krishna from there to here, so that other loving exchanges can happen. So 𝐾𝐽 is not used as a vehicle, at least that's not mentioned. In one line, Sanatana Goswami writes that he's destroyed. Okay.
Prabhuji, one more question.
Is it question or podcast? Yeah, you can ask. Last.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have heard that there are two Krishna, like one Vrindavan Krishna and one other
Dwarka
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes. So how does this fit in like Golok Vrindavan?
Dwarka Krishna is there in Dwarka. 𝐾𝐽 went to Dwarka also. That Krishna is there, feeling separation from Vrindavan eternally. And Krishna simultaneously is there in Vrindavan also. But this Vrindavan Krishna goes to Mathura. At that time there is absence of Krishna apparently in Vrindavan. He is in Mathura. So that all the Vrajavasis in Vrindavan will feel separation from Krishna who is in Mathura. But Dwarka, there is another Krishna sitting there in a majestic appearance, opulence. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hari. Yes. Take mic.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
We have to wait.
Okay. My question is about simplicity. I want to know, is there any difference between being a simple and being a naive? And further question.
There is a lot of difference.
And the further question is, the outside, while dealing outside world, we cannot be naive. So how can we not bring that crookedness in relation with devotees and Bhagwan?
Simplicity basically means no duplicity, no hypocrisy, being very straightforward, being very honest, being very transparent. Whatever is there in your heart, you reveal it very respectfully, transparently. So that is simplicity. Simplicity is not stupidity. Simplicity is not being very naive. Simplicity is not allowing oneself to be exploited by others. Simplicity is not allowing oneself to be cheated by others. Simplicity means having simple faith in Krishna's position, in the words of Acharyas, in the process of bhakti, in the potency of holy name, in spiritual context, right? As far as dealings with other devotees are concerned, simplicity means not trying to manipulate, not trying to cheat, not trying to maneuver the situation in such a way that we get some favor, we make them speak what we want to hear by using some extra smartness. Like basically with the devotees we need to be very transparent and straightforward in our dealings. That's the simplicity we are talking about. No hypocrisy, no duplicity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Also, I have one question. Thank you for your all these nectarian sessions. So my question is that when 𝐾𝐽 was in a Brahmaloka, he was a Brahma. In the Brahmaloka, all the scriptures are in a personified group. Also, the Srimad Bhagavatam is also in a personified group. So Srimad Bhagavatam has expressed all the Bhagavatam to the Brahma, 𝐾𝐽. So why the
Srimad Bhagavatam revealed the bhakti perspective and highlighted bhakti superior to mukti. That's the context. That's the discussion happened. But full Bhagavatam he did not hear. At least whatever is mentioned there. It's like mainly a contrast between bhakti and mukti is presented there.
Okay,
bhakti is established superior to mukti.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. You can send this side. After this, after Hari. You'll get mic, na?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for all your classes and all. I really loved them. I had one question. Like you said yesterday that Krishna is always in his Kaumara age, like 15 to 16 years old. Kaishara. And he doesn't grow old. So
in the spiritual world.
Yeah, in the spiritual
In the material world there is Balya, Paug and all the stages are there. But in the spiritual world is Kaishara Murti, but now we got another reference where there are multiple Golokas, there Krishna is in multiple ages, which I haven't read, but it's coming from a bona fide source. Extra information, upgrading our knowledge.
Okay, so my question was, like Krishna had like many queens, 16,108 queens. So like, are they also in like that age only, or like do they look older to Krishna? Or like
Krishna is in Kaishara, they are in old age. So, yes, they are also young. Krishna is young eternally. All the 16,108 queens are young. All the billions of gopis are young. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Yes, Mataji.
प्रभु जी हमारी साधना में इतनी शक्ति नहीं है तो हम गोलोक धाम तो कभी मैं जा नहीं सकती, लेकिन आपने आपके प्रवचन के द्वारा हमें गोलोक धाम लेके गए. थैंक यू प्रभु जी उसके लिए. और एक पूछना था प्रभु जी, जो नम्रता के बारे में आपने कहा, तो यहाँ इस्कॉन के मंदिर में भक्तों के संग में प्रभु जी एक आध्यात्मिक दुनिया रहती है, तो यहाँ नम्रता प्रैक्टिस करना वैसे भी बहुत सिंपल हो जाता है क्योंकि सभी नम्र ही रहते हैं. लेकिन प्रभु जी
And they will humble us also. They are humble and they will humble us also sometimes.
पर इस दुनिया के बाहर एक अलग सी दुनिया है प्रभु जी, जो बहुत भयानक लोग वहाँ पे मिलते हैं.
There will have a different flavor of humility. They will humble us in a different way.
तो
in our inability to deal with them will make us humble. Yeah, sorry.
तो जो नम्रता यहाँ पे प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए आप बोल रहे हैं हमें, अगर वो हम बाहर प्रैक्टिस करते हैं प्रभु जी, तो वो लोग तो खा जाते हैं हमें. तो फिर प्रभु जी
Okay,
कैसे?
got it. Humility is doesn't mean that we allow ourselves to be exploited by others. Humility means you uphold dharma. You stand for what is right. That is humility. In the name of humility, if I allow some nonsense to happen in front of me, is that humility? Humility means to uphold dharma. Humility is uphold whatever is right. Stand for whatever is right. So, to protect ourselves from being exploited by others, from being troubled by others, is also an aspect of humility, especially when you are dealing in those circles.
प्रभु जी बाहर के दुनिया में जब हम काम पे जाते तो पैसा कमाने के लिए थोड़ा चीटिंग करना पड़ता है, थोड़ा झूठ बोलना पड़ता है, एकदम सत्यवादी रह के वहाँ पे पैसे भी नहीं कमा सकते.
Do the needful with a pure heart, with integrity. Why am I speaking like this? Why am I being smart? Sometimes you go to the market and ask 1 dozen mangoes, how much is that? He will quote some price. He quoted 3 times more than what the mangoes deserve, you know that. And you quote 3 times less. You quote 1/3. And somewhere you will settle at some kind of reasonable price. So he is cheating you and you are also quoting. You know it's 100 rupees. You begin with 30 rupees. And he quoted 200. Right? Somewhere you will settle at 70, 80 or 120, something like that, and you protect your money. Sometimes it's required.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Last question.
Hi Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the beautiful class. So, relevant question to the same. How do we reconcile these two principles of humility, wherein we glorify or appreciate the devotees, but at the same time we are also affected, the modes of, under the spell of the material nature, the modes of material nature, the dualities. So when we try and appreciate and express glorification, but at the same time we are affected or victimized. After some days we might criticize the same thing. Like Saraswati Thakur, he cautions us that we must be careful that we shouldn't be excessively glorifying. But as mothers, we are very tender in a way where our nurturing to surrounding or people around us is very natural for us to express gratitude and glorify and appreciate. But at the same time, we have experienced that after some days, we may criticize the same person under the spell of the dualities and the modes of nature. So how do we reconcile these principles in our life?
If I understand right, we glorify devotees. Sometimes we criticize the same people also.
Yes.
So what's the question?
So how do we understand the humility, when you mentioned that, when we, to develop humility, how we must glorify, appreciate.
One aspect of humility is to genuinely appreciate another devotee's good qualities. So you appreciate. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies devotees. Bhaktera mahima kahite prabhu paya sukha, bhaktera mahima kahite haya panchamukha. He glorifies his devotees with 5 mouths, as if he has 5 mouths. So, appreciating the good qualities of devotees is a Vaishnava quality. We need to do that genuinely, not flattering them to get some things done through them, but genuinely glorify them. So, that is clear. As far as criticizing is concerned, we should not criticize. But if they make some mistakes, and if it is your responsibility to correct them, with a well-wishing heart, we may have to point out, Prabhu, this is where you went wrong, in a polite way. While acknowledging what good they have done, you also point out what bad they have done, just with a service attitude to help them overcome that shortcoming. So that's not necessarily criticism, that's a help. That's a support offered to you, offered by you, to the devotee. So that's a service. But while doing so, we need to ensure that I am not developing any disrespectful feelings towards him, towards the Vaishnava. Yes, he must have done some mistake, and the mistake is self-evident, but I should not be disrespecting that devotee, and I should not discount all the good services that he has done in the past. So with that caution, as a service, you may sometimes correct some devotees if it is within your circle of influence, if it is within your responsibility. But if it is outside our circle of influence or responsibility, we may just pray for them, and then from a distance we just keep quiet, so that their superiors, their well-wishers can correct them. Right? And if you are getting affected by them, then you need to express in a polite way, in a Vaishnava way.
And while expressing, just have our consciousness that I'm just trying to help and receive help. The Guhyam
Help myself or
and
help them.
others. And
That's
confidentially, maybe express like Guhyam Akyati Pashyati. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Confidentially and in front of only those people who are able to make some difference, not those people who just spread gossip. Right?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I just want to say a few words of thanks to Darshan Prabhu. So, words will fall short if you have to appreciate his presentation, because it was like the Shastras say that besides Anartha Nivritti, we also need Artha Pravritti. So, the narration of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita gives us a clue on what is awaiting us when you practice Krishna consciousness. Like Gopakumar, how he, initially was guided to one place and then second place and third place, ultimately attains the Goloka, Vrindavana, meeting Lord Krishna and seeing Yashoda, seeing devotees. So this is very, very important because all of us are committing our lives to Srila Prabhupada's mission, as either brahmacharis, grahasthas, matajis, prabhujis. So the soul has a sadhana deha and the siddha deha. Right now we are in our sadhana deha. Eventually we will attain the siddha deha, where we enter into the spiritual world. So it's very important to get some clue about the road ahead. Just like in Madhurya Kadambini, it's explained what happens in higher and higher stages. So this kind of narrations done very eloquently, shastrically presented, with a pure presentation and punctuated by shlokas with explanations from Mukundamala Stotram and Padyavali and Srimad Bhagavatam and Govinda Damodara Stotram and many other literatures. It's not very easy to present the way Gauranga Darshan Prabhu presents very scholarly and eloquent way on one hand, and at the same time very grounded in the very fundamental principles of Vaishnava lifestyle of humility, simplicity, transparency, the Guru Parampara, and presenting in a way that we all can understand. So he had gifted me a copy of the book, also Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Subodhini, and I have been watching how it's progressing, his class are progressing, very beautiful it was. So, and some of the sections that he highlighted so nicely was especially one section, like when he goes to Vaikuntha, everybody is in four hands and he is mistaking different residents of the Vaikuntha to be like Narayana. So, and also how when he went to Dwaraka, he refused to accept the costly dresses to wear, although they were telling him that you look in a wretched condition, please accept this. So one of the very striking features of Gopakumar that Prabhuji explained nicely is his unwillingness to accept opulence and Aishwarya and preserving his simplicity of a Gopakumar. He maintained his simplicity, and in this way, finally his heart found its fulfillment when he saw the Brajendranandan Krishna and got his personal association. And in this way, very beautifully, he gradually uplifted our awareness, our understanding also to more and more and more, higher and higher stages. Very beautifully done. And today the highlight was the gopis' feelings of separation from Krishna and the Akrur pastime. Akrur are taking Krishna Balram out of Braj. And icing on the cake and the good news for all of us is that Krishna returns back to Vrindavan also. Not that he is gone, and many devotees worry that at the age of 11 and a half or so he is leaving Vrindavan and 13 and a half leaving Mathura and going to Dwaraka, and then at 125th year, Vijaybasis met him in that eclipse time, in Kurukshetra. Whereas here, in the Golok Vrindavan, Krishna goes and comes and goes and comes. He keeps all the devotees. So that kind of Sambhoga and Vipralambha creates thrill. It increases the loving feelings for Krishna. And another highlight for me is Yashoda awaiting Krishna to receive Krishna and how she deals with Krishna. It was, many sections were very beautiful. And for Vaidhi Sadhana Bhaktas, for all of us, he answered many questions very brilliantly. The question on, how to become humble, or what is simplicity and naivety. And in the mornings also, the 3 mornings, the japa talks were rich with holy name glorification shlokas. If any of you missed it, you should see the recording. You will really relish it. Very, very beautiful. And the meter in which it recites, it immediately transports us from material world to spiritual world. Many people are completely mesmerized when they hear the meter of recitation. So when I was 48 years old, at that time, I thought before I touch 50, I should study Bhagavatam. That was my desire. So I was wondering, should I study myself or can I go to Mayapur or Vrindavan somewhere and study? I was thinking. At that time I came to know that Vidyapeetham was started, there was a 2-year course which was happening there. And I think 2 batches were over before me, 1 or 2 batches?
2 batches.
Only 1 batch was over.
Third batch.
Mine was second batch.
Third batch.
Third batch, yeah. Mine was third batch. So when I thought it is Govardhan Eco Village, my spiritual master is also there and Vidyapeetham is near. And I had heard his glories even at that time. Gauranga Darshan, wonderful devotee, the way he presents classes and everything, systematic, and there is test every day. This is another facet of his personality. He is not only a very good presenter, he is a pakka teacher also. He will conduct quizzes, he will give marks. He is also a very good empowerer of many, many devotees. Like he will catch a student and say, get all the analogies from the 10th canto. That fellow will be engaged for several months. He will tell somebody to make a PowerPoint. He is very good in engaging children as well as children. Preaching is another facet of his personality. There are 200, 300 children attend his Zoom lectures, which is giving. So once I asked him about this, he was telling, I am taking classes with the children to understand their psychology so that when I write Gita tales, Bhagavatam tales, it will be easy, understanding what they exactly need. So his books are so indispensable. Anywhere you go in the world, people need the Subodhini by the side of Bhagavatam. If you have to read Bhagavatam, you have to keep the Subodhini by your side because you get a bird's eye view in one shot. Then reading the Bhagavatam becomes very easy. Similarly, Brihad Bhagavatamrita is 2 bulky volumes. Anybody may find it difficult to fathom it. With this Subodhini, it will become very easy for people to read. Then he made Subodhini for Nectar of Devotion and the Nectar of Instruction, such books also. So, and children books are so valuable. Recently in Hyderabad and other places, when we give gifts to school principals, we gave many of the Gita tales, Bhagavatam tales, sets to the schools. Many school teachers saw the colorful pictures, they said, we never knew such a nice thing. So, in this way, he produces books, he teaches children, he has produced guides for studying the Bhagavatam and other books also. Personally teaches day and night, very hardworking and travels across the globe extensively. And it is my good fortune that when I was a couple of years studying there, very quickly within 2 or 3 months I realized one thing, that more than the Shastric knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam, his character, his sincerity and his humble demeanor, all these things very much touched me. So I felt myself very blessed and fortunate in that good association. And like him, there are also many other devotees who have come through this Vidyapeetham. Like I was telling Gauranga Prabhu once, you have expanded into many Gaurangas. One is Gauranga Prabhu, then there is Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, there is Gauranga. One more.
Gauranga Bihari.
Gauranga
Bihari Prabhu.
Gauranga Bihari Prabhu, and one more. Gaur Nam Prabhu.
Gaur Nam.
There are many devotees. But Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, after he finished IISc Bangalore, when he joined in GEV, Gauranga Prabhu once told me this, that he was very simple. He was doing this, making mud blocks and making the huts, mud huts, whatever service was given he was doing. Later on, Gauranga Prabhu told him to lead the deity department as a HOD of the deity department. He was HOD also, he was dressing and worshipping deities, Radha, Vrindavan Vihari also. Almost 2 to 3 years or so, is it?
10 years.
10 years you were doing that?
DT worship.
Oh, really? Which year you joined that?
2014 DTs were installed. Till 2023 ending I was there.
Right. And Vidyapeetham we started in
2012. Vidyapeetham before, with DT department later.
So 2007 you joined GEV?
2007 I came here. 2010 I joined GEV.
Correct.
2010,
at that time,
11 I was in
big
construction.
demand of brahmacharis for taking over the construction, I think.
Correct. I was in
so
construction.
you were also pulled in that in the beginning, 1 or 2 years, I think. Right,
10 to 12 I was into that.
Yeah.
So 12 Vidyapeeth.
Correct. So when Gaurampur gave him the Vidyapitam, and that is the time Prabhuji studied the Bhagavatam very nicely and made the overview notes. I was amazed when I saw the overview notes. I was confident that if this overview notes comes in the hand of anybody in the world, they can easily grasp the depth of Bhagavatam very nicely. Also in the overview, he picks up the vital shlokas and puts shlokas also. So you don't miss vital ones. And he gives summary, he gives links, connection between one section and another section. So much so that His Holiness Satyananda Maharaj, there's Amarendra Prabhu, they all are very fond of him and they join the sessions on Saturday, Sunday I heard. So in here, this series, this used to call it as Manaso Mahotsavam in those years. We used to call one speaker and keep him for 3 days, morning, evening, morning, evening. Later on, the Manaso Mahotsavam program became very, very distributed. One program here in NVCC, one program in camp and one program in Kannada Group's place. It became like that. But again, after many years, we have revived this standard of morning, evening. And some devotees were telling, Prabhuji, so many devotees won't come if you keep morning, evening, they said. But now, this time we had a huge strength of devotees because it was like a downpour of nectar. We all could partake of it. And I'm very grateful to him. I will request him to come as frequently as possible because he's next door to Pune. That's another good fortune for us. He's staying in GV. If he decides, he can just take a car and come here. Any weekend he wants to come. He can come, you just tell us a day or two in advance and we will make posters. You could have like this, take one section and then do it for 3 days, morning, evening. Many devotees hear your videos also, they're very fond of your, and many have joined your Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta's courses also. Here also in Hyderabad also, and it's very great blessing for us. So he practically, just like you get drenched in the rain, like that he drenched us in nectar of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Let us thank him with loud Haribo! 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 Praise Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki.
I was just thinking about, we are born in the Kali Yuga. As Shaunaka explains, Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda Bhagya, Pudruta, Prayana Alpayusha, Kalavasmini Gujana, so many bad qualities. And how fortunate we are to come in touch with Acharya like Srila Prabhupada, who is bringing us this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. This knowledge is not even available in the people of Satya Yuga. And he is giving this such a valuable treasure to the people most degraded in the whole universe in the creation, probably in Kali Yuga. It's such an elevated topic. And all this secret is just in one capsule of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His holy name's power is so much that one mantra can reveal so many things like which is revealed to Gopakumar. Swayambeva Spuratyada. So it's good to listen to, as you said, to understand what should be the goal. But we should also, as you said, we should understand what our position is. We should not try to jump immaturely and try to think that when I will become Gopakumar and stand in a stick with Krishna in front in Dwarka. So yeah, that's so the whole of your narration, although it took us to all the highest platform of consciousness, but at the same time you grounded us at the last 1 hour of your lecture to what is our position also. So it was very wonderful. Yes, I agree with Radhesham Prabhu. You should come more and more. So that enlighten us. And it is easy to understand by hearing than reading. And especially when a devotee, as I was talking to you in the afternoon, explain you such a pure heart and with realizations. It is not that you can say that you don't have any realizations, but at least you have realization that Sanatana Goswami is narrating. So unless you get in tune with the author, you cannot explain the things as the author wants to give it. It's like Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, why Krishna says only my devotee can explain. Many people read Bhagavad Gita, how they cannot explain because they are not devotees. So this is Acharya's books also. You cannot explain them unless you have assimilated the mood of that Acharya. So I agree with Darshan Prabhu, you should come and give us more and more of your association. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.